investigation, and this happens to be for the first time that Anil Ambani's son has also been booked in an FIR that has been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
Well, absolutely, Shavan. Thank you for getting us these details. CBI has booked J. Anmol Ambani, ladies and gentlemen, in a fraud case. In fact, there is a complaint by the Union Bank of India alleging wrongful loss of rupees 228 crores. In fact, additionally, Bank of Maharashtra has also launched an FIR against Reliance Commercial Finance Limited and others alleging a wrongful loss of rupees 58 crores. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to slip into a very, very short break. On the other side, we continue to track Indigo's civil aviation meltdown that has occurred across India. We are tracking these stories and a lot more. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा।
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा है, नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? मेरे को प्यार।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा।
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Live and Breaking at 2 p.m. I'm Tanisha Avasthi. The major debate that we'll be focusing on today is about the monopoly and the duopoly debate that the Indigo has ignited, and this has sparked a huge row and a huge war of words. We'll get into that and a lot more in this edition, but first a quick check of the headlines.
We are encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Republic coverage forces government to relook at the monopoly and duopoly model. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says he will ensure duopolies don't decide. Indigo faces action over cancellation chaos. Will be losing now 5% of the flying routes. Goa club owners, the Luthra brothers, have now fled to Thailand after the deadly fire. They took an Indigo flight after a blue corner notice was issued against the Luthra brothers. As India celebrates 150 years of Vande Mataram, Amit Shah opens the debate on Rajya Sabha. Big development in 10/11 blast probe. Terror Dr. Adil brought to Kashmir by NIA amid the raids. Ladies and gentlemen, with the monopoly and duopoly debate raging, we have accessed some crucial details about the data. The data of the routes that show how Indigo has dominated India's domestic aviation market, operating on approximately 63% of the country's 1,200 domestic routes, which translates to nearly 950 routes. Now, notably, Indigo has a complete monopoly on about 600 of these routes, domestic routes, while sharing around 200 routes with the other airlines, creating a duopoly. Now, the Air India Group holds a significant market share of 26.5%, making the Indian aviation sector effectively a duopoly, with Indigo and Air India Group combined accounting for nearly 90% of the domestic passengers. Shambhavi is joining us live from the IGI airport. Shambhavi, this route data that has been accessed by Republic shows how majorly it is Indigo and Air India that are dominating the market as far as the aviation sector is concerned. Indigo and Air India together, they are sharing routes. It is accounting to nearly 90% of the passenger traffic, which is a huge amount. Don't you think it's high time, with the kind of aviation crisis that we have seen in the past 1 week, also with Air India being in trouble over several technical snags back to back, don't you think it's time to end the duopoly and the monopoly that's there in the aviation sector?
See, definitely, and when we look at the fundamental reason for why this Indigo crisis happened, or how this could have been very easily avoided, because this is not some natural calamity that happened, or this was because some natural issue. This was a man-made problem which could have even very easily adhered to, and this entire fiasco could have been avoided. And when it comes to Indigo, now Indigo, as we've been talking about, that it covers around more than 60% of the domestic market, and you very rightly pointed out that out of 950 from a total of 1,200, these routes would be somewhat around 950, and Indigo alone rules around 600 of them. So this has just created a huge problem, because if there would have been other players in the market, if there would have been other airlines in the market, this wouldn't have been such a huge issue. Now this is one of the most unprecedented meltdowns in the aviation industry, and has caused especially the common people, those people who can afford 40,000 a night in the hotel rooms, or can afford 60,000 for a flight which usually costs 7,000, 11,000. We are not talking about those people. We are talking about the common man of India who has struggled, who was stranded at the airport for hours and hours without any update about if their flight is just cancelled or delayed, or even cancelled to a point. So this could have been very easily avoided, and now even Naidu pointing out that this monopoly or duopoly has to go, and they will be pushing for more airlines. We can expect that something positive can come out of it. Back to you.
Shambhavi, stay with me, because we're getting in one more set of breaking news that's coming in, where we learned that Indigo, through a panel member, was pushing for adoption of the FRMS rather than the FTTL. Now, objections were raised in the panel meeting. Now, there were some members, we learned that, who raised objections on the conflict of interest that was rising. Shambhavi continues to join me on the broadcast. Shambhavi, for the benefit of our viewers and for the ease and understanding on what was actually the difference between the FRMS and the FDTL, because we learned that there was one of the panel member that belonged to Indigo who was trying to push for the FRMS rather than putting the FDTL into works. But what's actually the difference between the two, and why is it that the panel member was trying to push this rules and regulations?
See, for the ease of our viewers, I'm going to just very easily differentiate for you. At one side it is FRMS, which is Fatigue Risk Management System, and at the other end it is FDTL, which is Flight Duty Time Limit. So what basically this one member of Indigo was pointing, that we always say prevention is better than cure, but this Indigo person was rooting for the cure, which is the FRMS, which is Fatigue Risk Management System. That yes, let our pilots, let our crew work overtime, let them not have ample rest, let us please ignore the pilot fatigue and make them work overtime, stretch ourselves a little too thin, and when that risk actually happens or something like that happens, let us work on a management system for the same. Just for the layperson, this can be the definition of it, whereas FDTL is Flight Duty Time Limit, which is basically managing how many hours a pilot can fly, or how to manage a pilot fatigue, or what is the minimum amount of rest that a pilot needs, which was earlier 36 hours, but later with phase 2 of the FDTL, it turned into 48 hours. So this is the basic difference which this one member in this committee meeting was pointed. They were rooting for fatigue risk management system instead of a set flight duty time limit. Back to you.
Right, Shambhavi, thank you very much for getting us those details. Quickly moving across to some more stories that we are tracking on this edition, and this is regarding the impeachment motion that the DMK is going to move, and this is in regard with the temple lighting case. Now, the India Alliance along with the DMK leaders will submit impeachment notice against Judge G.R. Swaminathan over the row. We learned that impeachment resolution has now been moved. This is a row that has been continuing in Tamil Nadu for way too long now, where lawmakers from Tamil Nadu's ruling DMK will table a motion to impeach Judge G.R. Swaminathan, the Madras High Court judge who ruled on the temple case. The case revolves around the lighting of a festival lamp on one of the two ancient pillars called Dipathan on a hill that is home to the 6th century temple and a 14th century dargah. Now, it was on Monday, after a contentious hearing, Justice Swaminathan had overruled the protest by the state government and temple officials and had ordered the lamp to be lit on the pillar built half up to the hill instead of one at the foot of it, which has been the tradition for over 100 years. Sharda, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast on that note from Chennai. Sharda, talk to us about what the issue is about, how it turned into a huge controversy, and why is it that the DMK is now planning to move the impeachment motion against the judge?
Well, the issue on the Tirupurkundram dates back to 1994. However, it was in 2014 a two-bench judge declared that the lamp would be lit in the temple in bit of the hill and not on the top. And following that, now a recent petition filed by a Hindu devotee, Ram Ravi Kumar, saying that the light should be lit on the top of the hill, because 80 years before, it was only during the World War II that the lighting of the lamp on the Deepatun on the top of the hill was stopped. But until then, the light was always lit on the top of the hill, especially for the Kartikai Deepam festival that falls in the month of December. However, after his petition was followed, the DMK government decided not to follow the judge's order, which was passed on December 1, saying that after he heard the petitioner, he decided to give permission for the lamp to be lit on the top of the hill. There was also an issue where the hill had to be renamed to Sikandar Hill, and last year it was the Muslim community that was fighting for it. But again, another judge gave a pass an order telling that the hill cannot be renamed. So the problem continues over the Tirupakundram route, and the DMK later decided to not listen to the judge's order. And on December 3, there was a huge commotion in Tirupakundram where protesters were fighting to light the lamp, and Section 144 was imposed to make sure the law and order was maintained. While the case continues, the case has been adjourned to 3 p.m. today, where the hearing will be heard whether the Madurai Collectorate and the Commissionerate went together with this for the DMK or not, is what the judge wants to hear. Meanwhile, the DMK has tried to move a motion, the impeachment motion, in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, seeking support of the India alliance, saying that the judge should be removed from his post and that he is going against the constitution of Indian laws, is what the DMK is claiming. Now they have submitted a letter to the Speaker Om Birla saying that they want to move this motion of impeachment against Judge G.R. Swaminathan.
Right, Shada, in fact, thank you very much for getting us those details. There's also listening to that statement that came in earlier via the DMK spokesperson TKS Elangovan on the issue. All right, we'll try to get you the official statement of the DMK shortly on that note. Meanwhile, we move on to some other stories that we are tracking here on Republic. Now, moving on, 12 Maoist cadres, including a top CPI Maoist Central Committee member, have surrendered in Chhattisgarh's Rajanandangaon district. The surrender is being seen as a major breakthrough in the state's fight against left-wing extremism. Here's a quick report on that.
In a major setback to the Maoist movement, 12 hardcore cadres, led by Central Committee member Ram Dher, surrendered before security forces in Chhattisgarh's Rajnandgaon. The group laid down arms under the state's rehabilitation policy. Among those who surrendered are senior Maoist operatives carrying multiple cash rewards on their heads. Police say the group was active in several violent incidents across central Chhattisgarh.
सबको मालूम है कि कई दशकों से हमारा ये छत्तीसगढ़ नक्सलवाद से ग्रसित है और कहीं न कहीं छत्तीसगढ़ के विकास में बहुत बड़ा ये बाधक भी है.
Officials credit sustained anti-Naxal operations and improved intelligence networks for the success. The surrendered cadres will undergo de-radicalization and skill training under the government's rehabilitation program. With continuous surrenders and intensified operations, Chhattisgarh's battle against Maoist extremism appears to be reaching a concluding phase.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news is tightening on the Luthra brothers. The same Luthra brothers that you see on your screen right now. These were the people who were responsible for the fire tragedy that broke out on Sunday late midnight in Goa. They were the owners of Birch Club by Romeo Lane, Saurabh Luthra and Gaurav Luthra. The two Luthra brothers were the owner of the same nightclub where the fire broke out on the fatal night of Sunday. Soon after which had killed 25 people, it was on 5 a.m. that same morning when Luthra brothers booked a ticket to Thailand on an Indigo flight and had fled in fact to Phuket. So after that was when a lookout circular was issued. After that is when the CBI came into the loop and a blue corner notice has now been issued, we learn, against the Luthra brothers. And the latest information that we have, ladies and gentlemen, is that the passport verification team of Goa had also reached the residences of these men, Saurabh Luthra and Gaurav Luthra, in the national capital. Now this verification process, as we talk, is still underway. The post office staff had recently visited their residents in Delhi as a part of the routine verification procedure. However, like always, they were not to be found. The Luthra brothers are now associated with the family business and have applied for passports, prompting the verification visit. Swarali, my colleague, is joining me live from Panji in Goa. So, Swarali, the Luthra brothers, of course, have fled, and the Interpol notice have now also been issued. What are the next steps that the investigation agencies are going to take in this matter?
Yes, that's true. It's a very important major update in this entire story. We have been continuously tracking this Goa fire tragedy since last 2 days. And let me tell you, a blue corner notice has been released by Interpol, which means police is all out, and other countries will also be contacted to check the whereabouts of the Luthra brothers who flew out of India around 5:30 a.m. with the flight number Indigo's flight 6E1073. Within the few hours of the tragic incident unfolding in Goa, taking 25 lives of people. On the other hand, a major crackdown is happening on government officers. We already know that 3 officers are suspended already. Former Secretary of Pollution Control Board, on the other hand, Director and Secretary, former Director and Secretary of Panchayat are also suspended. They were questioned yesterday by the police, and the crackdown is still going on. When we exclusively interacted with BJP MLA Michael Lobo, at that time he had informed us that new SOP is also in place, and soon it will be released in public domain, and it will have been abided by all the nightclubs across the Goa. With this, a serious audit crackdown has been ordered across the state of Goa to check whether all the nightclubs have fire NOCs. If not, strict action will be taken. So this is the major update. On the other hand, Ajay Gupta, who is said to be a third partner of Luthra brothers, also he is on radar of Goa police, and there's a possibility he might be detained by Goa police for further investigation.
Right, Swarali, thank you very much for getting us those details. All eyes are now when the Luthra brothers will be caught. Moving on to some other stories that we are tracking, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bharat in 5 minutes. BJP MLA staged a protest at the Survana Sauda in Belagavi, accusing the Karnataka government of failing to address farmers' concern, highlighting key issues. BJP leader said that while the government announced MSP for sugarcane and maize, it did not open procurement markets, leaving farmers without support. At the NDA parliamentary meeting in the national capital, Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Kiran Rijiju said that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reform expresses the central agenda of this historic third term. He explained how the Prime Minister wants every new policy or law to avoid any burden on citizens, with both central and state governments working towards this goal.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो थर्ड टर्म ऐतिहासिक सरकार बनी है, उसका सबसे बड़ा एजेंडा है रिफॉर्म एक्सप्रेस. अब ये रिफॉर्म जो है हर एक नागरिक का जिंदगी को बदलने का रिफॉर्म है.
A loud crowd gathered in Puducherry as TVK chief and actor Vijay addressed his first public rally since the tragic cruise stampede that had claimed 41 lives, with heightened security measures in place. Police capped attendance at 5,000 and mandated QR code entry passes through to ensure controlled access. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian Army's Romeo Force has launched a major territorial army recruitment drive in Surankot town of Poonch district following Operation Sindoor, drawing participation from over 30,000 youth across the Union Territory. The large-scale recruitment effort aimed at expanding local involvement in security and development roles will continue until the 15th December.
सर, हम रोमियो फोर्स जो हमारी इंडियन आर्मी की है उसका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं कि जैसे कि आजकल जो बेरोजगारी बढ़ रही है उसे टैकल करने के लिए इन्होंने भर्ती करवाई है, और इसमें काफ़ी सारा यूथ ने हिस्सा लिया है. आज करीबन 1500 से 2000 तक लड़कों ने हिस्सा लिया है, और करीबन 30,000 तक यहाँ पे पूरी लड़के आएंगे जब पूरी भर्ती में. सर बिल्कुल ये फ्री है, भर्ती बिल्कुल फेयर है, इसमें कोई वो नहीं है. जिसमें दम होगा वही भर्ती करेगा. इसमें 5 मिनट पूरा जोर लगाना पूरी ज़िंदगी बन जाएगी आदमी की.
In Chhattisgarh Sukma district, once a Maoist stronghold, the Purvanti region is witnessing rapid improvements in connectivity as the government agencies and security forces expand their civic action program. As a part of the initiative, bicycles are being distributed to villages, helping residents who were long isolated in forested areas to access nearby towns and urban facilities more easily. CCTV footage captured a dramatic accident on the Samriddhi Expressway in Maharashtra on Monday afternoon when an SUV lost controls and skidded off course, burst into flames within seconds. Fortunately, the vehicle's doors were not locked, allowing the 5 occupants to escape just in time before the fire engulfed the car, narrowly avoiding a major tragedy. In Tumakuru in Karnataka, the demand for a Dalit Chief Minister resurfaced as supporters of Karnataka Home Minister Dr. G. Parmeshwara held a march urging the Congress leadership to elevate him to the top post. The rally, which began at a bus stand and proceeded to the SASR circle, saw participants voicing strong backing for Parmeshwara's leadership and pressing the party to consider him for the Chief Minister's position. Canadian authorities probing a series of 3 shootings at Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada have informed New Delhi that the attack was allegedly carried out by 2 Punjabi origin suspects, Sherry and Diljot Rehal, who are said to have links with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang. The shooters reportedly opened fire on the 3 separate occasions using sophisticated weapons, acting on the directions of an alleged mastermind referred to as SIPO. Police and intelligence agencies are now searching for the individuals seen in the photographs circulated in the report. Akula class design, also called Project 97-1U, it is 110 meters long and displaces about 14,000 tons when submerged. A 19-megawatt nuclear reactor gives it unlimited range and allows it to travel fast underwater at more than 30 knots and dive to 600 meters. The submarine has 8 torpedo tubes of 533 mm and 650 mm that can fire heavy torpedoes, mines, anti-submarine rockets and caliber cruise missiles. It carries more than 40 weapons in total. For India, it has been upgraded with quieter machinery, mounts, alcoholic coatings and Indian sensors. Unlike Arihant class SSB and submarines that can carry nuclear missiles for deterrence, Chakra 3 is an SSN designed for hunting ship submarines and striking land targets with conventional missiles. India is also building 6 indigenous nuclear attack submarines with similar power and advanced systems. Here's a report on all that you need to know about this.
India is set to receive nuclear-powered attack submarine from Russia. The submarine, which will be commissioned as INS Chakra 3, belongs to the upgraded Project 971U Akula class. The Akula class submarine, which India is set to receive from Russia, is 110 meters long and displaces nearly 14,000 tons when submerged. A single 190-megawatt nuclear reactor provides unlimited range and permits sustained high-speed submerged transits that diesel-electric boats cannot match. It can exceed 30 knots underwater and operate at depths of around 600 meters. Armament comprises 8 torpedo tubes of 533 and 650 mm caliber, capable of launching heavy torpedoes, anti-submarine rockets, mines, and caliber family cruise missiles with conventional warheads effective against ships and land targets several hundred kilometers away. The boat carries more than 40 weapons in total. Modernization for Indian use includes rafted machinery mounts, anechoic coatings, a skewed 7-bladed propeller for reduced acoustic signature, and integration of Indian sensors and communication systems. India already possesses nuclear-powered submarines, but they belong to a different category. INS Arihant and INS Arighat, both commissioned, and 2 larger follow-on boats of the same indigenous class now nearing completion. These existing submarines comes under the category of SSBN, which means they are nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. Their sole purpose is strategic deterrence. Equipped with K-15 and K-4 submarine-launched ballistic missiles carrying carrying nuclear warheads, they remain on silent patrol to guarantee a credible second strike capability. In plain terms, these are India's underwater nuclear shield. A nuclear attack submarine, or SSN, by contrast, is an entirely different instrument. It carries no ballistic missiles and no nuclear warheads for strategic use. Its task is conventional naval warfare, sinking enemy warships and merchant vessels, neutralizing hostile submarines, launching precision strikes on land with conventional cruise missiles, and gathering intelligence far from Indian shores. The strategic necessity for SSNs is clear. India's trade and energy imports travel through increasingly contested waters. Even the most advanced diesel-electric submarines must snorkel periodically, exposing themselves and limiting endurance at high speed. An SSN can leave Visakhapatnam, transit the Malacca Strait or the Gulf of Aden entirely submerged at 20 knots or more and arrive combat-ready weeks later. In an era when adversary navies are deploying carrier battle groups and nuclear submarines far from their coasts, India requires similar reach and persistence. Recognizing this, the government has approved construction of 6 indigenous nuclear attack submarines. These 6,000 to 7,000 ton boats will use an Indian-designed 190 megawatt reactor, carry BrahMos and Nirbhay cruise missiles, and incorporate pump jet propulsors for superior stealth. The leased Akula-class SSN will therefore serve a dual purpose. It will immediately extend Indian underwater strike reach to distant oceans and, equally important, train several generations of officers and sailors in the complex art of large nuclear attack submarine operations. When the indigenous SSNs join the fleet, India will possess a complete underwater triad: diesel-electric submarines for coastal and regional defense, Arihant-class SSBNs for assured nuclear retaliation, and a force of nuclear attack submarines capable of sustained power projection from the Persian Gulf to the Western Pacific. With INS Chakra 3 and the indigenous SSN program, India is moving decisively from a coastal defense navy to a blue water force able to safeguard its maritime interests in an increasingly contested Indo-Pacific theater.
All right, shifting our focus to some breaking news that's coming in, and this is in regard with Goa, where we learned that after the fleeing of the Luthra brothers, the crackdown has intensified on the illegal settlement that was there in Romeo Lane in Goa, where one of the lane's nightclubs had caught fire. We now learn that Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has ordered a demolition of Romeo Lane in Vegeta. The authorities are likely to carry out demolition any moment now. Remember, it was First Republic who had exposed how there were illegal settlements that were there in that very lane, where one of the nightclubs, the Birch nightclub, had caught fire, which had led to the death of 25 people. And although the Sarpanch of that area had ordered for a demolition of all the illegal settlement, however, the same was not carried out. So who actually is to be held responsible is yet to be seen. But the latest breaking news that we have is about how the Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant, has ordered a demolition of the Romeo Lane in Vegeta, and authorities are likely to carry out demolition any moment soon on all the illegal settlements, illegal nightclubs that have been operating without any license, without any proper papers. Swarali is joining us on the phone line on that note. Swarali, what are the nightclubs that will come under the fire after the demolition order has now been issued by the Chief Minister of Goa?
Yes, that's true. Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant, has confirmed with Republic TV that Romeo Lane nightclub, which is present in another location, which is very near to the original location of incident in Vagator, that nightclub by Romeo Lane will be demolished, and authorities are already present on the ground, and the demolition will be conducted soon. Now, this action comes in the wake of 25 people have lost their lives in a tragic incident, and that's why this crackdown can be seen and more action is expected.
Right, Swarali, also, when is it that this demolition is likely to take place? All right, we seem to have lost that line with Swarali, but more breaking news details that we are getting in. We learn that the Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant, and his office has directed the administration to demolish the Romeo Lane completely. Romeo Lane is one of the very popular lanes in Goa,
which houses most of the nightclubs in Goa. One of those same nightclubs in that very lane, it was Birch nightclub that had caught fire, that had led to the death of nearly 25 people, after which the government has now swung into action. On that note, it's time for us to slip into a short break. After the break, getting you the exclusive visuals of Terror Dr. Adil for the first time, who has been seen clearly, his visuals with the NIA team, getting you the details of that breaking after a short break.
QS&T achieved. The world's foremost university rankings organizations have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
We are encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Republic coverage forces government to relook at monopoly-duopoly model. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says that he will ensure duopolies don't decide the policy. Indigo faces action over cancellation and chaos to lose 5% flying routes. Goa Club owners fled to Thailand after deadly fire took Indigo dawn flight. Blue corner notice issued against the Luthra brothers. As India celebrates 150 years of Vande Mataram, Home Minister Amit Shah opens the debate today in Rajya Sabha. Big development on the 10/11 blast probe. Terror Dr. Adil brought to Kashmir by NIA amidst raids. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the big breaking development that we are tracking for you this afternoon. Republic has now exclusively accessed CBI's search operations that are ongoing on Jai Ambani fraud case. Searches are being carried out at multiple locations. That's the latest information that we have accessed here on Republic. The CBI case against Anil Ambani's son is on causing wrongful loss of around 228 crore. The searches are presently ongoing, ladies and gentlemen. The CBI has filed a criminal case now against Jai Anmol Anil Ambani, who is the son of Anil Ambani, in the larger Anil Ambani group financial scams which have been under investigation related to Reliance Housing Finance Limited. Ravinder Shukla, the ex-CEO and the then whole-time director of RHFL, in a bank fraud case to the tune of 228 crore. This is the first time Anil Ambani's son has been booked in a criminal case, ladies and gentlemen. That's the latest development, and the big development coming in a written complaint that was submitted by the CBI, which has now alleged commission of offence of cheating, conspiracy and criminal misconduct by RHFL's Jai Anmol Anil Ambani. Shavan, my colleague, joins us with more details on this story. Shavan, this is the first time now Anil Ambani's son has been named by the CBI, and now raids being conducted in connection to this 228 crore financial wrongful loss case. But this is a larger case that we have been tracking here at Republic with various other bank frauds under the scanner. But what is the significance of the raids as they are undergoing at the moment?
Well, in fact, let me start with the breaking news now coming in. We do have a confirmation from top source within the central agency that searches are now being carried out following the FIR that has been registered against Jay Ambani. In fact, he is accused number 2 as per the FIR that has been registered. Along with him, Ravindra Sudhalkar, as well as Reliance Housing Finance Limited have been named in the FIR that has been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. It is essentially based on a complaint that has been filed by the Union Bank where they are alleging commission of offence of cheating, criminal conspiracy, criminal misconduct by RHFL and causing a wrongful loss to the tune of 228 crore rupees. In fact, what we are also given to understand is that they had made an application before the bank with regards to seeking further loans in this particular case, and they had largely indicated that in the application they had sought financial assistance and caused the bank to believe that the said loan limit, the business of the company would essentially grow. But it turns out fake bank guarantees were given, and it turns out that the erstwhile promoters and directors in the borrower company of RHAL, they were basically in the know-how, and the fact that there has been diversion of funds. Let me also clarify here that there is already an existing case in which Anil Ambani is essentially being probed. For the first time now, you have Jay Ambani also being named by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
All right, Shravan, thank you very much for bringing us those details. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the big breaking development coming in from the CBI now, which in a written complaint has also mentioned for the first time Anil Ambani's son, who has now been named by the CBI in the written complaint. The visuals are on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's the latest coming in. In the interim, more breaking news developments, ladies and gentlemen, coming in from the state of Goa, where the Chief Minister has ordered the demolition of the Romeo Lane Club. This is the same club at which the fire claimed lives of 25 individuals on Saturday evening after pyrotechnics went haywire, leading to a smoke situation which led to suffocation and the deaths. The Chief Minister had ordered an investigation. The Luthra brothers, the owners and promoters of this club, are on the run. They left the country within 5.5 hours of that blaze, and they are allegedly now in Phuket. And at the moment, the Goa police has been investigating the case. A blue-collar notice has been issued by the CBI and Interpol for this matter. But now the land at which the club stood, demolition drive, is now going to be undertaken after Goa's Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has ordered so. My colleague Swarali joins us live on the broadcast with more details on the story. Swarali, tell us what's the situation at the moment on ground zero where a demolition drive is expected.
Yes, exactly. So as we know that Gaurav and Saurav Luthra, these are the brothers who have fled the country and allegedly are in Phuket, have multiple properties in Goa and across the India. So Romeo Lane nightclub, which is present in the Vagator, which is very near to the original place of incident. So Goa CM Pramod Sawant has confirmed with Republic TV that there are another property at which is present in Vagator. This is also a nightclub that is supposed to be demolished, and this can happen at any time because authorities are already present on ground. The perpetrators are out of company, out of India, but a major crackdown is going to happen soon.
All right, thank you very much, Swarali. Ladies and gentlemen, a slight correction there. This is another property that has been linked to the Luthra brothers. This is Romeo Land at Vagator, a beach shack illegally constructed and being demolished today in the evening. On the screens, ladies and gentlemen, now let me play some exclusive visuals of the club, which is now going to be demolished upon the orders of the Chief Minister of Goa. All right, these are the visuals of that club, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be demolished. This is a beachside shack which was illegally constructed by the same Luthra brother-led group, whose club also went ablaze. This is a different property now linked to them, and there is going to be action at this site because it is going to be demolished by the authorities there because it was illegally constructed. That is what the Chief Minister's office in Goa says. Serious concerns being raised. One property with no fire clearance and NOC was operating with only one entry and exit that eventually claimed lives of 25 people. And now this another.
तो लोगों को बचने का कोई भी मौका नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि सब कुछ लकड़ी का बना हुआ है। हमने इतना लंबा रास्ता तय किया, आपको एक भी जगह फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर नहीं दिखा होगा प्रियंका, एक भी जगह फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर नहीं है। इस जगह पर 10,000 रुपये से ज़्यादा एंट्री फीस ली जाती है। मैं विजय से कहूँगी एक बार यहाँ पर तस्वीरें दिखाएं, और सिर्फ वीआईपी लोग आते हैं ये कहा जाता है। आईडी चेक नहीं की जाती, इसलिए जो लोग मरे हैं उनमें ज़्यादा 21 और 19 और 20 साल के लोग, बच्चे हैं जिनकी मौत हुई है, जो इंजर्ड हैं। अस्पताल में हम जब जा रहे हैं जीएमसी हॉस्पिटल में, तो बच्चे, एक लड़की जो कि 19-20 साल की है, अमूमन 22 प्लस जो होता है 22 प्लस, उन्हें अल्कोहल का परमिट होता है और क्लब में एंट्री के लिए 23 और 24 प्लस का परमिट होता है। लेकिन ये क्लब किस तरीके से चल रहा था आप समझिए। 19 साल की लड़की को इन्होंने एंट्री क्यों दी, कैसे दी, किस तरीके से लीगल काम हो रहा था, देखिए। आज इस क्लब को डेमोलिश किया जा सकता है। ये क्लब रोमियो लेन, जो कि दूसरा ब्रांच है बर्च बाय रोमियो लेन का, लूथरा ब्रदर्स का। 3 क्लब इनका बताया जाता है। बर्च, जहां पर आगजनी की घटना घटित हुई, ये है रोमियो लेन वेगेटोर में, एक है ममास बॉय। और ये तीनों क्लब जो हैं उनकी हालत कुछ लगभग ऐसी ही है। सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस नहीं है प्रियंका, फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर नहीं है। और बर्च में भी कुछ ऐसा ही हुआ, जब आग लगी तो लोगों के पास बचने का मौका नहीं था, क्योंकि वो बैक रिवर वाटर पे बना हुआ है, एक संक्रिय सा जो है इलाका है, रास्ता है जहाँ से आ जा सकते हैं लोग, तो भागने के लिए उनके पास कोई भी और विकल्प नहीं था। ये तस्वीरें आप देखिए रोमियो लेन जो कि वेगेटोर बीच पे है, लूथरा ब्रदर्स का ये क्लब। यहाँ पर भी कुछ ऐसा ही प्रतीत होता है कि यहाँ भी सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस नहीं है। मैं पीछे कहूँगी एक बार दिखाएं हमारे विजय, रोमियो लेन का ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म बना हुआ है, शायद यहाँ से परफॉर्म करते होंगे डीजे, बार यहाँ पर बना हुआ है। यहाँ भी किसी तरह का कोई भी सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशन, फायर प्रिकॉशन नहीं है, कोई फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर नहीं है। यहाँ पर अगर आग लगती है, आप समझिए प्रियंका, अगर मैं यहाँ पर मौजूद हूँ, मैं अपने आप को इस सिचुएशन में रखूँ, और अगर यहाँ पर आग लगती है, ये सब कुछ लकड़ी का बना हुआ है, जल कर खाक हो जाएगा। मैं नीचे समंदर में नहीं कूद सकती हूँ। मुझे बाहर जाने के लिए बस एक ही एंट्री एग्जिट, बस एक ही है। जाने के लिए कम से कम 1 किलोमीटर दूर ऊपर जाना होगा, तब तक मेरी जान चली जाएगी। और ये सब कुछ जलने में 1 सेकंड नहीं लगेगा, क्योंकि सब कुछ लकड़ी का है और फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर एक जगह पर भी नहीं है। 2016 से लूथरा ब्रदर्स इस बिजनेस में है, होटेलियर के एनओसी नहीं है इनके पास। 22 शहरों में इनके होटल के बिजनेस हैं, 4 देशों में इनके होटल के बिजनेस हैं। 3 जो क्लब है उनका खुलासा हमने किया है, जो कि गोवा में है। सोचिए, जो इतने सारे संचालित क्लब हो रहे हैं, वहां पर कितना उल्लंघन हो रहा होगा। गोवा में सिर्फ लूथरा ब्रदर्स ही नहीं, कई ऐसे लोग हैं जो कि अवैध गतिविधियां कर रहे हैं, इलीगल क्लब्स चला रहे हैं, बार एंड रेस्टोरेंट का वो लाइसेंस लेते हैं और फिर क्लब चलाना शुरू करते हैं, जिसमें बेली डांसिंग, जो कि हमने तस्वीरें देखी, वो होता है, नार्कोटिक्स का इस्तेमाल होता है, और फायरवर्क्स जैसे कि हमने देखा, जिसका कि एनओसी नहीं होता, उसका इस्तेमाल होता है। परमिशन किसी चीज का नहीं है, लेकिन ये काफी समय से चल रहा है। अब इसके पीछे कौन है जिम्मेदार, ये कार्रवाई होने पे पता चलेगा। तस्वीरें एक बार फिर से मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी, दर्शकों को फिर से एक बार दिखाऊंगी। ये तस्वीरें देखिए, यहाँ पर एक सिलेंडर हमें दिखाई देता है, पर लगता है कि ये अभी यहाँ पर रखा गया है और ये काफी ज्यादा एक्सपायर है। ये इस्तेमाल करने की स्थिति में बिल्कुल नहीं लग रहा मुझे। ये सिलेंडर अभी यहाँ पर मुझे लगता है कि होगा, लगाया गया होगा। ये सिलेंडर हम आपको दिखाएं, कैमरामैन को कहूंगे एक बार जूम करके दिखाएं। ये बिल्कुल भी इस्तेमाल करने की स्थिति में नहीं है, और अगर इसके एक्सपायरी डेट को भी हम देखने की कोशिश करें तो वो नहीं दिखाई देगा, ब्लर है, क्योंकि ये काफ़ी पुराना है। और इस एक फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर पर पूरा क्लब टिका हुआ है। ये भी मुझे लगता है दिखावे के लिए यहाँ पर है, क्योंकि ये कुछ काम का नहीं दिख रहा है यहाँ पे। और आसपास इस पूरे क्लब में कहीं कोई भी सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस, कहीं कोई भी फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर, ऐसी कोई भी चीज़ दिखाई नहीं दी प्रियंका।
All right, that's my colleague from Republic Bharat there reporting from Ground Zero in Goa. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the exact club today in the evening where this demolition drive is going to be undertaken in Goa. You saw the callous attitude of the owners over there, barely no arrangements made for any fire safety. Whether the fire NOC of this site is also cleared or not is under question, but the entire site, the Goa police and the Goa administration now says was illegally constructed. It's a very prim and proper beachside shack. It's a location where if you would go, you would not expect that it would be completely illegally constructed without any fire safety or hazard norms in place. But that's the sad reality, and today it will be demolished upon the orders of the Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant. This is the location, ladies and gentlemen. That is how it looks usually when it is populated. My colleague was just reporting from there moments ago. The entire wooden structure there constructed illegally along the beach side, hampering the administration's ability to curtail such disasters that took place. These are live and exclusive visuals. This is a long run-up to the location where my colleague was reporting. So you can see that if a fire situation erupts on that beachside shack, it is such a long walk outside surrounded by bamboo and wooden structures. It is going to be a complete disaster in the making, and this place now is going to be demolished by the Goa authorities later in the day. That's the latest and exclusive visuals with Republic reporting from ground zero. A second club and restaurant kind of a place, a beachside shack they call it, Romeo Lane in Goa, which is the second location of the same promoters, Luthra brothers, who have fled the country now. A blue-collar Interpol notice is against them, and these are the exclusive visuals.
रोमियो लेन जो कि उसका दूसरा क्लब है। 3 क्लब हैं लूथरा ब्रदर्स के गोवा में। एक अरपोरा विलेज जो कि बर्च बाय रोमियो लेन जो कि अग्निकांड जब हुआ तो जलकर खाक हुआ, और दूसरा ये रोमियो लेन जो कि वेगेटोर बीच पर स्थित है जहां पर हम मौजूद हैं, और एक ममास बॉय। ये 3 क्लब गोवा में हैं। ये तीनों क्लब जो हैं इन पर कार्रवाई शुरू हो गई है, और बताया जाता है कि इनके प्रॉपर्टीज़ भी हैं जहाँ पर ये गोवा आते थे तो ठहरा करते थे, वो भी यहाँ पर क्लब के आसपास 500 मीटर की दूरी पर हैं, वहाँ पर ये रुका करते थे। तो इन सभी जगहों पर जो है अब कार्रवाई शुरू हो गई है, डेमोलिश किया जा सकता है। फिलहाल हम रोमियो लेन पर मौजूद हैं। यहाँ की तस्वीरें मैं दिखा रही थी प्रियंका, जैसे आप बता रहे थे कि मेरी सांसें फूल गई है, और बिल्कुल क्योंकि ये इतना दूर है, हम हिल टॉप से नीचे आते हैं चलकर, और यहाँ पर अगर कुछ होता है, कल को अनहोनी होती है, तो अगर बिना अनहोनी हुए मेरी सांसें इस तरह से फूल गई हैं, तो अगर आग लगती है यहाँ पर तो सोचिए फिर क्या सिचुएशन होगी, कितनी ज़्यादा भगदड़ होगी। क्योंकि अमूमन ये जो लोग हैं, जितनी कैपेसिटी होती है सिटिंग, उससे ज़्यादा लोगों को इन्वाइट करते हैं। अगर 100 लोगों की यहाँ पे कैपेसिटी होगी तो 300 लोग यहाँ पर आएंगे, और जब आग लगती है तो भगदड़ मचेगी, सफोकेशन होगा, लोग भाग नहीं पाएंगे। और यही कुछ बर्च में भी हुआ होगा, क्योंकि वहाँ पर भी कुछ ऐसा ही रास्ता था, आने जाने के लिए जो है रास्ता नहीं था, बस एक संक्रिय सा उन्होंने पुल बनाया हुआ था, और उस पुल के ऊपर से ही आ या जा सकते थे लोग। तो यही उस दिन भी हुआ जब आग लगी, लोग वहाँ पर फंस गए। और क्लब की तस्वीरें एक बार फिर से मैं आप लोगों को दिखाऊंगी। ये रोमियो लेन जो कि लूथरा ब्रदर्स का दूसरा क्लब है वेगेटोर बीच पे, ये पूरा क्लब है। अपने आप में आप देखिए कि पूरा जो है लकड़ी का बना हुआ है, और पीछे भी नज़र मैं एक बार कहूँगी कि कैमरामैन को घुमाए, ऊपर तक आप देखें ये क्लब पूरा लकड़ी का बना हुआ है। फायर की कोई भी यहाँ पर सेफ्टी जो है नहीं ली गई है। लूथरा ब्रदर्स का बस यही काम था कि लोगों से पैसे ऐंठे। 10-10 हज़ार आप सोचिए एंट्री फीस यहाँ पर थी। पूरी रात ये क्लब चलता था, बैली डांसर डांस करती थी, और सारे इलीगल काम होते थे, पैसे ऐंठे जाते थे। 100 लोगों की सिटिंग कैपेसिटी में 300 लोगों को बुलाया जा रहा था, पूरी रात क्लब चलाया जा रहा था। लेकिन लोगों के जान की फिक्र इन लूथरा ब्रदर्स को नहीं थी, और वो इसलिए भी पता चलता है क्योंकि जिस दिन ये अग्निकांड हुआ उसके कुछ ही घंटों में 5:30 बजे की फ़्लाइट इंडिगो 6E1073 से ये फुकेट के लिए रवाना हो गए। इन्हें कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि 25 लोगों की जान चली गई। स्टाफ लोगों से भी जब हम मुलाकात करते हैं तो स्टाफ कहते हैं कि ओनर हमसे अब बात नहीं करते हैं, हमारा फ़ोन नहीं उठा रहे हैं, वो लापता हैं, वो कहाँ हैं, हमें कुछ पता नहीं है। और ये तस्वीरें एक बार फिर से मैं आपको वाइड करके जूम करके दिखाऊंगी दर्शकों को। रोमियो लेन जो कि वेगेटोर बीच पर है, ये जो आज क्लब है डेमोलिश हो सकता है, इसे डेमोलिश करने सरकार आ सकती है, और इस लोकेशन को डेमोलिश किया जा सकता है। तो यहाँ पर एक शॉर्ट ब्रेक का वक्त हो चला है।
All right, that's the latest coming in, ladies and gentlemen, from the Goa's Romeo Lane Club, the second location of the Luthra brothers, which is now on the radar of the authorities in Goa, which is likely to be demolished later today after the orders from Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant. And our colleagues will continue to report from ground zero as we continue to track how did the Luthra brothers flee Goa. And tonight we debate that as well with our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami. In the interim, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring you all the other breaking news details that we are tracking for you from across India. This is Bharat in 2 minutes. The NIA on Tuesday conducted searches in Matan forest area of Anantnag as part of its probe into the November 10th Red Fort blast. The agency was assisted by local police and CRPF personnel during the operation. Also, 2 arrested accused Dr. Adil Rathar and Jasir Bilal Wani were taken along with the NIA officials to identify these locations. A man carrying a gun was detained on December 9th for trying to enter the first public meeting of TVK chief Vijay in Puducherry since the Karur rally. The man, identified as David, was a security guard for the TVK Puducherry District Secretary. Police clarified that the man had carried the gun for protection and was not aiming to harm Vijay. Around 15 female students at Kasturba Gandhi Girls Hostel in Mahidpur Tehsil of Ujjain fell ill after around 9 p.m. after smoke from outside caused severe eye irritation and coughing. They were immediately taken to the hospital and officials suspect that some form of gas in the smoke triggered these symptoms. Acting on the students' information, authorities visited the hostel to assess the situation. According to the police, a madrasa teacher was arrested allegedly for raping a minor in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district. The accused, identified as Nasir Majid of Chalair village, was arrested within 3 hours of receiving the complaint. An FIR has been registered under relevant sections of the BNS and the POCSO Act. Indian Army's Romeo Force will conduct a territorial army recruitment drive in Surankot town of Poonch district following Operation Sindoor. The drive will involve more than 30,000 youth from various parts of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir participating. And ladies and gentlemen, former state president of the BJP, K. Anna Malai, has now hit out against the parliamentarians as they submitted a notice of impeachment given to the speaker in Lok Sabha. This is a notice of impeachment given against Justice G.R. Swaminathan, who gave the order recently about lighting the Kartigai Deepam on top of the hill there in Tamil Nadu, which has now emerged as one of the most contentious issue. Former state president of BJP in Tamil Nadu, Anna Malai, said, and I quote, "If the agenda on the table is to flaunt their anti-Hindu credentials, then the MPs of the India Alliance wear it like a badge of honor." So now a big fight has emerged after the High Court judge in Tamil Nadu had given the order for lighting the Kartigai lamp at the shrine there in Tamil Nadu, which had emerged as a major point of contention. Today, India Ally MPs have now submitted an impeachment notice, surprisingly, against Justice G.R. Swaminathan. Let's listen into what Anna Malai said. All right, my colleagues, first of all, my colleague Sharda joins us live on the broadcast with more details on the story. Sharda, do tell us the big political war of words that is emerging at the moment. Sharda, Anna Malai is also reacting. We have seen the visuals of the MPs going to the parliament and submitting that impeachment notice to the speaker. But what's the situation on ground?
Well, this Tirupurakunram row of lighting the lamp on Kartigai Deepam at the top of the hill has come of more of a judicial and a political fight between the DMK, BJP and the Judge G.R. Swaminathan. After his order on the 1st December asking the government to help the petitioner light the lamp on the hill, it was the police that stopped them from lighting the lamp, saying that the order passed in 2014 by 2-judge bench is different from what G.R. Swaminathan had asked, and following which the collector and the police passed the 144 order in the Madurai area near Tirupurakunram to make sure that the law is in place and to make sure that there is no protest by the Hindu front. And also later on, when the collector and the police were questioned, that they added that the G.R. Swaminathan's whatever the order has been passed was not asked by the DMK to take over, and that's the reason that the police had not followed the orders is what. And today the case has been adjourned to Friday to make to ask whether the collectorate and the police were in hand with the DMK government to not follow the court's order, as it will be in contempt. Meanwhile, the DMK filed a case in the Supreme Court against Judge G.R. Swaminathan's issue, and also today the DMK MP Kanimozhi Karunanidhi took the lead to make sure that the impeachment motion is applied in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in the Parliament, with the India Alliance support for the DMK, and the DMK reacting to this said that the Judge G.R. Swaminathan has always been in forward looking for the RSS and BJP, and the ideology do not match with the people's, and that it did not follow the constitution or the Indian law, and that's the reason they want this impeachment. Meanwhile, the BJP had said, the BJP leader Anna Malai has said that this is only decisive politics done by the India Alliance. Back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Shada, for bringing us those details. Ladies and gentlemen, the fight in Tamil Nadu intensifies now. The India Allies MPs have moved an impeachment notice against Justice G.R. Swaminathan. We will closely track all these developments. In the interim, let me bring you a detailed package coming on the new inducted INS Chakra 3, an Akula class SSN, a nuclear submarine that Indian Navy is going to induct, which was originally manufactured by the Russians, and it was a stalled project, but India collaborated with them and completed that project. And before India now goes on to induct its 6 new nuclear powered submarines, the attack submarines. Unlike INS Haryant, which is an SSBN, a ballistic missile submarine, this Akula class nuclear attack submarine is going to help the Indian Navy to train its personnel so that India's maritime waters forever remain safe and secure. And when our submarines, our nuclear attack submarines, enter the fleet, our crew is ready. Let's take a look at how this Akula class nuclear attack submarine from the Russians and a joint collaboration between the Indian Navy is going to be an absolute game changer in the Indian Ocean region.
India is set to receive nuclear-powered attack submarine from Russia. The submarine, which will be commissioned as INS Chakra 3, belongs to the upgraded Project 971U Akula class. The Akula class submarine, which India is set to receive from Russia, is 110 meters long and displaces nearly 14,000 tons when submerged. A single 190 megawatt nuclear reactor provides unlimited range and permits sustained high-speed submerged transits that diesel-electric boats cannot match. It can exceed 30 knots underwater and operate at depths of around 600 meters. Armament comprises 8 torpedo tubes of 533 and 650 mm caliber, capable of launching heavy torpedoes, anti-submarine rockets, mines, and caliber family cruise missiles with conventional warheads effective against ships and land targets several hundred kilometers away. The boat carries more than 40 weapons in total. Modernization for Indian use includes rafted machinery mounts, anechoic coatings, a skewed 7-bladed propeller for reduced acoustic signature, and integration of Indian sensors and communication systems. India already possesses nuclear-powered submarines, but they belong to a different category. INS Arihant and INS Arighat, both commissioned, and 2 larger follow-on boats of the same indigenous class now nearing completion. These existing submarines comes under the category of SSBN, which means they are nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. Their sole purpose is strategic deterrence. Equipped with K-15 and K-4 submarine-launched ballistic missiles carrying nuclear warheads, they remain on silent patrol to guarantee a credible second strike capability. In plain terms, these are India's underwater nuclear shield. A nuclear attack submarine, or SSN, by contrast, is an entirely different instrument. It carries no ballistic missiles and no nuclear warheads for strategic use. Its task is conventional naval warfare, sinking enemy warships and merchant vessels, neutralizing hostile submarines, launching precision strikes on land with conventional cruise missiles, and gathering intelligence far from Indian shores. The strategic necessity for SSNs is clear. India's trade and energy imports travel through increasingly contested waters. Even the most advanced diesel-electric submarines must snorkel periodically, exposing themselves and limiting endurance at high speed. An SSN can leave Visakhapatnam, transit the Malacca Strait or the Gulf of Aden entirely submerged at 20 knots or more and arrive combat-ready weeks later. In an era when adversary navies are deploying carrier battle groups and nuclear submarines far from their coasts, India requires similar reach and persistence. Recognizing this, the government has approved construction of 6 indigenous nuclear attack submarines. These 6,000 to 7,000 ton boats will use an Indian-designed 190 megawatt reactor, carry BrahMos and Nirbhay cruise missiles, and incorporate pump jet propulsors for superior stealth. The leased Akula-class SSN will therefore serve a dual purpose. It will immediately extend Indian underwater strike reach to distant oceans and, equally important, train several generations of officers and sailors in the complex art of large nuclear attack submarine operations. When the indigenous SSNs join the fleet, India will possess a complete underwater triad: diesel-electric submarines for coastal and regional defense, Arihant-class SSBNs for assured nuclear retaliation, and a force of nuclear attack submarines capable of sustained power projection from the Persian Gulf to the Western Pacific. With INS Chakra 3 and the indigenous SSN program, India is moving decisively from a coastal defense navy to a blue water force able to safeguard its maritime interests in an increasingly contested Indo-Pacific theater.
Coming up next on Live and Breaking, as the Ministry of Civil Aviation continues to dodge Republic's tough questions, it has been now forced to curtail Indigo's flight route schedule by 5%. But we will continue to ask the right questions, ladies and gentlemen, when we come right back after a very short break on where is DGCA's accountability. Do not go anywhere. Republic is Live and Breaking.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. Ladies and gentlemen, the Luthra brothers who ran the Birch nightclub in Goa, where 25 people died, over 20 of them died just inhaling the smoke. Some were charred to death, and the identity of 7 other bodies is unknown. And as we speak, they are somewhere in Thailand. They went to Phuket, but are they still in Phuket? Or are they somewhere in Thailand, or have they moved out? The search continues, and our focus is on how they were allowed to leave India. That and more coming up. Here are the headlines.
Encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Republic coverage forces the government to finally talk about duopoly. The minister says he will ensure that duopolies don't call the shots. Indigo loses 5% of its flying routes. DGCA, which gave permission in the first place, now says it's cutting down Indigo's flight routes. Goa club owners fled to Thailand after the deadly fire took an Indigo flight on the 7th morning. Blue corner notice issued against Luthra brothers. The Goa government orders demolition on the illegal club run by the Luthra brothers called Romeo Lane in Goa. As India celebrates 150 years of Vande Mataram, Amit Shah opening the debate in Rajya Sabha. Investigation in the Red Fort blast continues. Sarah Dr. Adil brought to Kashmir by the NIA. And suddenly the entire government in Goa has woken up after the fire that killed 25. A demolition order has been given by the Chief Minister's office in Goa, we are hearing. Suddenly, They've all realized that there are illegal clubs in Goa, and one such club owned by the Luthra brothers called Romeo Lane will be demolished in a short while from now. Republic is live from that particular hotel, that shack in Goa called Romeo Lane, which is now going to be demolished, owned by the Luthra brothers. Now on the run from India after 25 of them, 25 lives were lost. We're going across live to our reporters who are at Vagator in Goa, where Romeo Lane, the club, is going to be demolished. On the right of your screen, on the third window, that's Romeo Lane, which we are now told was also illegal. Swarali, suddenly now we are hearing that there are many other illegal clubs, and these illegal clubs will be demolished, but they're starting with Romeo Lane. But there may be hundreds of clubs that may be illegal.
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you, in an action, a major crackdown is going to happen on the Romeo Lanes nightclub, which is situated in the Vagator area. Let me see you on one side. There is a C, and on other side, you can see there is Romeo Lane nightclub in Vagator area. You can see this entire wooden structure. We are right now standing over here. Republic TV is showing you the entire structure, which is going to be demolished in the orders of CM Pramod Sawant, and he has confirmed us that the strict action will be taken and authorities can be here in a short while. This entire structure will be brought down, because we get to know that even irregularities were seen in this structure, and hence in a huge action that will be taken by Goa government, the entire structure will be brought down. And as we all already know that 3 officers have been already suspended. On other hand, 4 people have been arrested in this case. 2 Luthra brothers are on flee. They are in Phuket. They left in few hours of incident that took place, the tragic fire incident that unfolded in Goa, causing 25 lives. They took Indigo flight 6E1073 to Phuket at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Blue corner notice has been also released by Interpol, which shows they are on a flee, and entire information about them will be gathered. Let me show you entire structure over here. The wooden structure like a shack, which was situated on a seashore, and it will be brought down by the authorities. Strict action, a crackdown that is seen across the Goa, and after this nightclub, it is also possible several other nightclubs, restaurants or bar can come under the scrutiny of government, and major action can be taken.
Okay. What is the location now? What kind of search is ongoing? We are hearing of a blue corner notice, but the Goa government, what is known about when the lookout notice was given? And why did they give it after they left? Has the Goa government responded to these brothers fleeing to Thailand?
Exactly, that's the lingering question which is still going unanswered, that the Luthra brothers fled on the 7th morning, that is 5:30 a.m. and the FIR was registered after that, and the lookout notice that was given even after that in the evening of 7th December, way before the hours when this notice was circulated. Luthra brothers had already fled from India, and even Republic TV has reported from the Delhi residence of Luthra brothers, where there was no family members were also seen. On the other hand, a major crackdown is also expected on the other government officers. We already know that 3 government officers were suspended. The former Secretary of Pollution Control Board, former Secretary and Director of Panchayat were also sacked. On the other hand, there is a possibility that more government officers can come under the scrutiny, and they are already questioned. Now it is to be seen what next action is taken. But right now we are present at this Romeo Lane nightclub, which is in Vagator. It's like a hilly area. It's like a shack, and this entire wooden structure will be brought down in coming time. Authorities can come soon here.
The club that is going to be demolished suddenly the government in Goa has realized that there are many illegal clubs, and as they look at this particular club, which is owned by the Luthra brothers, which will be demolished, let's also show you what happened on Sunday morning. At around 11:30 p.m. Saturday night is when the fire was reported. And hours after the fire, and the brothers, the Luthra brothers, Saurabh and Gaurav, were in Delhi. The moment the fire breaks out, they flee their home in Delhi. They were at their home in Delhi, then flee their home in Delhi and rush to the Delhi airport. And the flight that they took is 6E1073, 6E1073, 5:25 a.m. It was a 4.5-hour flight to Phuket, 4.5-hour flight. And this is 6E1073, and they left Delhi and immediately boarded the flight to Phuket, 6 hours after the fire. And this is the last we heard of them. There is no news of them. That same evening, the Goa government moved a lookout circular, and suddenly everybody realized that they had left India and gone to Phuket. Now, these are the brothers. 25 people have died in Goa, 25 lives lost, and they're arresting everybody from the security guard to the sarpanch to the manager, but the owners were allowed to flee India. They took a flight 6E1073, and I'd like to go across also back to Swarali, because we are live from the location, one of the clubs that they owned, which is going to be demolished in a short while from now. I'd like to play that out. And as we go across to Swarali, you spoke to the Sarpanch. Sarpanch claims he has no idea. He says that he's the one who gave the demolition notice, but it does not add up, right? It does not add up because the government knew it was illegal, police knew it was illegal, Sarpanch knew it was illegal, excise department knew it was illegal, but nothing was done to stop the operations.
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you, when Republic tried to talk to Sarpanch, that is Roshan Redkar, he had given out the demolition notice, which could not happen because the stay was brought in by the Panchayat Directorate. But when we tried to talk with BJP MLA Michael Lobo, he is putting huge allegations that in first place, why was trade license approved in 2023? The sign of Roshan Redkar can be seen on the same document. Why was it approved? Because trade license is given after they get all kind of other permissions and licenses, maybe excise, town planning or fire NOC, but he is alleging, huge allegations are done by Michael Lobo, that this trade license was approved earlier and then all the other permissions were given by the department, and he's saying that he is developing a pressure on government that action should be taken on the officers of all departments, and even he's questioning Sarpanch Roshan Redkar. So you can see clearly this is how the allegations are being put. On one hand, when the Sarpanch is saying that he had taken proper course of action, but BJP MLA questions that he had an authority to cancel the trade license. Why did he not cancel and just put out the demolition notice? Was it a chance for Luthra brothers to appear in front of Panchayat Directorate and get a stay order? That's what the question is. Right now we are present at the property Romeo Lane nightclub in the Vagator area, which is a few meters away from...
Across to that. We have the first picture. Let's go across to that. We're getting the first picture of Gaurav Luthra. We're going across and playing the first picture. Let's play it from Indigo, please. Indigo. Let's open that right now. This is the first picture of Gaurav Luthra, one of the brothers. We have the first picture of them spotted in Thailand, we are told. This is a photo of them in Thailand. For the first time, let's go full frame, please, to the pictures of Gaurav Luthra. The face of one of the brothers has been captured after they landed in Thailand. I'm going across to the picture right now. For the first time since they left India, since they fled India, let's go full frame to the picture. First on Republic TV, go full frame, please. Full frame. Let's zoom that in. The first picture of them in Thailand. First image of the Luthras in Thailand. There is a first image that is coming in. We have the picture with us. That's Gaurav Luthra, one of the true brothers, Gaurav and Saurabh. Gaurav Luthra in Thailand, went to Phuket, took an Indigo flight, and we have the first picture coming in of them in Thailand. There's a blue corner notice issued against both these brothers, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra. And they fled India that morning on a 6E17 in an Indigo flight, ironically. And this is one of the first pictures of them, perhaps at the immigration, and we are waiting to get more details. There is a blue corner notice issued already, and you can see the picture of Gaurav Luthra from Thailand, one of the first pictures that we have of them since they left India, since they fled India. The Birch brothers, the owners of the Birch Romeo Lane Club, where 25 lives were lost. where 25 people were killed. 25 people's lives lost because of the corruption, because of the criminal negligence, and how an entire system let not just the club operate and kill 25 people, but also the same system allowed Gaurav Luthra to flee India. And that's the first picture. That's an exclusive picture, please. Exclusive. 25 people killed in the nightclub fire at Birch. And the owners, that's the first picture on the right of your screen. Exclusive image of Gaurav Luthra, one of the owners of the nightclub. One of the owners of the nightclub. That's an exclusive image. Let's put a watermark over it. That's the first image of Gaurav Luthra from Thailand. We're waiting to get the first detail of where this picture was taken from. The first port of call there, Phuket. That's where the flight landed. We are hearing that this photo itself was from Phuket after their landing, and we are waiting to get more details of their whereabouts. On Sunday morning, it was a 4.5-hour flight. So when they left at 5:30, they landed there approximately 8 o'clock India time. And Swarali is live with me. Swarali, we have the first picture of them. This is a picture of Gaurav Luthra in Thailand after leaving India. What time did they leave? What do we know about their whereabouts? What is the police telling you at this point?
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you. Right. Let me tell you that they left India around 5:30 a.m. in the Indigo flight 6E1073, and this shows the insensitivity of the owners, Gaurav and Saurav Luthra, under whose names FIR has been registered. Now, let me tell you, the tragic event had unfolded in the midnight of 6 December, and within few hours, they fled India. They fled to Phuket, and now we are accessing very exclusive images of Gaurav Luthra, one of the owners. And let me tell you, the third partner, Ajay Gupta, is also under the scrutiny of Goa police. He is said to be the partner with Luthra brothers. On the other hand, wherein major crackdown is going on right now. We are present at the property, which will be brought down in some time. It's situated on the seashore, and you can see entire wooden structure is there. Now, it is also a question that whether a fire NOC was present with them, all the other legalities were in place or not. Even these property, Romeo Lane in the Wagator, it's a question that did they have the excise permission, the town planning permission, and it's totally under the scrutiny, and a major crackdown by Goa government. CM has ordered that this will be demolished, and after that it is also said that several other nightclubs, restaurants, bars can also come under the scrutiny, and demolition can take place. When we were trying to talk with BJP MLA Michael Lobo, he has also said that there might be a chance. He is alleging that 50% of the nightclubs in Goa might not have fire NOC, which is a big allegation done by BJP MLA himself. Now it is to be seen what next steps are taken by the Goa government. In a sense, still the Luthra brothers are on flee. Interpol has released a blue corner notice to check about the whereabouts of the perpetrators. Back to you.
Okay, stay with me. In fact, I'm staying with the pictures on the right of your screen. On the right of your screen, the first picture of Gaurav Luthra on the run from India. He was spotted in Thailand. First picture from the port of call, Thailand, in Phuket. Phuket in Thailand is where this picture was taken. He was spotted there. This is an image that we have, waiting for details of their whereabouts. The owners fled India immediately after the fire. Exactly 6 hours after the fire, they were on a flight that took off from Delhi and went to Phuket. And this is one of the owners, one of the two brothers, Gaurav Luthra, whose brother Saurabh Luthra is also with him. And this is the only image that we have as of now. Only image of fugitive Gaurav Luthra. Left India immediately. There is likely to be a blue corner notice issued against him, and we are waiting for more details of that. There is a lot of anger. 25 people died, and instead of being there and facing the law for what they did in Goa, and we are hearing that they didn't just run one nightclub, another nightclub that did not have permissions is being demolished in Goa as we speak. There is a crackdown. Instead of facing the law, they've left India immediately. And this is the first image that we have on your screens right now. And as a blame game continues, we have Michael Lobo, one of the MLAs there. I'd like to play out Michael Lobo's reaction. He's the MLA. He's blaming the Sarpanch, the Goa government unwilling as of this minute to take on the blame. And we'll get that soundbite right now. He spoke to us earlier today. And any time now, we should be able to get more details from the Goa government. Swarali, what did Michael Lobo tell you? And how is he contradicting the Sarpanch? We have both the reactions, right? Both the reactions are with us. The Goa government is in no mood to take responsibility.
Right, let me tell you, when we tried and interact with exclusively with BJP MLA Michael Lobo, has informed us that how could Sarpanch Roshan Redkar in first place issue trade license, because see, before giving out the trade license, there are certain levels of scrutiny which has to be done with excise department, town control department, fire NOC has to be submitted. But according to his allegations, he's saying which actually expired in 2024, but he's saying that in first place, how was it given? Because nothing was in place, as we already know that there was only one exit, one narrow entry and exit to entire property, and that's why 23 people have succumbed to death because of the kind of smoke situation that was done. Only 2 people are burnt, but 23 people have succumbed. So he was saying, how was it in first place the trade license was given? Because once the trade license is issued, it is just to be renewed, it's not made afresh. So he's saying that the demolition notice, what was it, just a chance for Luthra brothers to appear in front of Panchayat of Directorate and get the stay orders. Sarpanch Roshan Redkar also had an authority to cancel the trade license. Why didn't he do that? That's the question posed by Michael Lobo. Right now we are present at the Romeo Lane, which is in Wagator, and let me show you, this entire structure is made of wooden, even though it's written over here. I'll ask my video journalist to turn the camera. It's written over here that the signboard of fire exit can be seen, but you can see, I'll ask him to turn the camera, entire structure is made of wooden furniture. So how was people supposed to get out of this property if any mishap could have happened? And that's the reason why Goa government has ordered demolition notice, and it will be brought down in some time. The entire structure, I'll ask him to pan the camera for our viewers, Republic's viewers, to understand what kind of irregularities are seen in such nightclub businesses. It is already sealed. Let me also show you the seal mark, which can be clearly seen. It was already sealed by the Goa government, because when Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant had conducted a PC here already.
Stay with me. I'm staying on these pictures. You keep showing us those pictures. Let's stay on the live pictures, and also please keep showing this photo, because it's the first photo. Please, let's keep it on air. And let me go across to Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, former DGP, joining us on the phone line. Vikram Singh, it's how is it possible that 5 hours after the fire they flee India, and only later that evening everybody realizes that they've left and they issue a lookout circular? Now, procedurally, what should have been done in this case, according to you, Mr. Singh?
This has not come as a surprise to me, in the sense that Luthras are very smooth operators and they knew what was coming. But yes, had the dragnet been very firm and the police bandobast had been very, very proactive, they would not have been able to escape. But better late than never. The fact that they have been identified, caught, and they're being brought back to India is a matter of some consolation, not all. I would say that yes, it requires for a very detailed and elaborate investigation as to who facilitated the empire building of the Luthras and the other co-accused, because Rome was not built in a day, nor was this OSS cafe built in a day. Obviously, there were those in the government department, the police, the fire service, and the administration who were complicit and ably aided and abetted their edifice of shame. Therefore, the investigation will now have to be, how did they manage to run away? And why did the police be proactive in apprehending the owners? They were people who were well known in the social circles of Goa, and therefore it wasn't something so difficult. But the fact of the matter is that they were able to identify them from Phuket. Maybe the premature disclosure of one of the Luthra brothers on the internet gave their location away. Well, the fact of the matter is that they're being brought back. They require a thorough interrogation.
Sir, no, they're not being brought back. We don't know whether they're being dragged back. We only have an image of him. We have an image of him, Mr. Vikram Singh, but there's no news of where they are.
I'm given to understand, but unless there is certainty, we can only be conjecture. But wherever they are, rest assured, whether they are Phuket or elsewhere, it is only a matter of time before they are back because the tightening of screws in respect of attachment of the bank accounts, properties, both movable and immovable, and other co-accused will give them away, and it is only a matter of time before they are brought back to India. All their escape routes stand plugged. I can tell you from my experience, they cannot run very far away and for too long.
Sir, thank you for joining us, Vikram Singh. I'm staying with that picture. That's the first image, ladies and gentlemen, of one of the brothers, Birch brothers, the brothers who own the Birch nightclub in Goa. The inferno that you're seeing on the left of your screen, the massive fire on Saturday late night, a little after 10:30, 11 p.m. when the fire was first reported. 25 lives were lost that night. And as we reported, all of Sunday morning, all of Sunday, the damage was done. Lives were lost. And the brothers, Gaurav Luthra, Saurabh Luthra, the owners, had fled India, had taken a flight out of Delhi, left their home, rushed to the airport, took a flight to Phuket and fled India. And we don't know where they are as of this minute, but this is a picture we are told of them in Phuket, Thailand, minutes after they landed. And Swarali is still live with me. She's at the nightclub, which is going to be demolished in a short while from now. On the right of your screen, that's a video, that's a promotional video that the brothers had put out of one of their nightclubs called Romeo Lane. And that nightclub is going to be demolished in a short while from now. We are also hearing that in a short while, the police in Goa will be holding a news conference, so we will wait for that as well. But the first image coming in, are we close to bringing them back? We are waiting for an update. I'm going back to Swarali to see if there's any action there. Swarali.
Yes, right. I was trying to show you how the place was already sealed when Goa CM had taken a press conference, and now in a big order that the entire place will be brought on a demolition order. Let me show you, turn the camera and show you. There's this name written over there, Romeo Lane, which is situated in the Wagator area, which is a few kilometers away from the Birch by nightclub, Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub, wherein the entire tragic incident had unfolded. Now I'm going to show you the top view of this entire property. This entire structure is made of wooden furniture, wooden structure. It is a wooden structure, and the fire exit is also made up of wooden structure. So it is seen that how the lapses are seen at multiple level, not just in one property, but various properties, and it's a very astonishing fact that they have properties across Goa and in 22 states of India and even 4 countries outside India. So the lapses can be observed in various properties. This is the second property, and it's going to be demolished. And if they have multiple properties in Goa, but this order is for the specific properties, so the lapses were seen. And let me tell you, 3 other officers are already sacked related to the former secretary of Pollution Control Board Secretary and Director of Panchayat, because the trade license was given by the Sarpanch himself, Roshan Redkar, which was expired in 2024, and it was not renewed because the case was going on in the Panchayat of Directorate. But the question raised by BJP MLA Michael Lobo is that why was the trade license issued in first place, and then just to show a demolition notice was given? Was it a chance for Luthra brothers to appear in front of Directorate and get a stay order on this demolition notice? If the demolition had taken place in time, 25 lives could have been saved. It is one of the most major and massive fire tragedies in the state of Goa, which is a tourism hotspot. And the message from here is traveling.
Yeah, okay, stay with me. I'll have to take a short break right now. We'll take a break and come back with the live coverage in a short while from now. Hearing that the Goa police could also be speaking to the media. We're also expecting action where my colleague Swarali was, where demolition is going to take place at one of the clubs owned by the brothers, which was also illegal, by the way. So how many of these clubs in Goa are actually illegal? Clubs, shacks, nightclubs, illegal. People simply bribe officials and get their way through, and people die. 25 lives were lost. No accountability. The owners are on the run. So who really faces the punishment?
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आरती मसाला।
Taking a short break, 25 people killed and the Luthras have fled. We have a first picture of them from Thailand. Story is getting bigger. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
Republic gets the first picture of a fugitive Gaurav Luthra in Thailand. Blue collar notice issued against Luthra duo in the aftermath of Birch nightclub fire. Goa Chief Minister orders demolition on illegal club in Romeo Lane after outrage over Birch Inferno.
We are encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Republic coverage forces government to relook at monopoly duopoly model. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says will ensure duopolies don't decide. Indigo faces action over cancellation chaos to lose 5% flying routes. As India celebrates 150 years of Vande Mataram, Amit Shah opens the debate in Rajya Sabha. Starting this edition with a big action being taken by the Central Bureau of Investigation against Anil Ambani's son. Jai Anil Ambani has been booked by the Central Bureau as we speak. Residential premises of Anil Ambani is being searched by the Central Bureau of Investigation. CBI has been able to obtain search warrants of 2 premises linked to Jai Anmol, which is now being searched. In fact, this is in a bank fraud scam where the searches are being carried out. Jai Anil Ambani has been booked by the Central Bureau of Investigation. On your screens, the copy of the FIR that has been registered against Jai Anil Ambani, and he's been named as accused number 2, along with Ravindra Sudhalkar, ex-CEO and whole-time director of RHFL. All at Mumbai on the 9th is when the case was basically registered. Several incriminating documents have also been observed and are being taken into possession of the Central Bureau of Investigation. More details that we've just got right now from top sources within the Central Bureau of Investigation. This is what we know so far. In fact, a criminal case has been registered by the CBI against Reliance Home Finance Limited, promoters, directors and unknown bank officials on the basis of a complaint of the Union Bank of India on the allegations of criminal conspiracy, cheating and criminal misconduct, and thereby causing wrongful loss of 228 crore rupees to Union Bank of India. The account of Reliance Home Finance Limited was declared NPA back in the year 2019, and as fraud just on 10th of October,
2024 by the Union Bank of India for causing wrongful loss of 228 crore rupees to the Union Bank of India. Reliance Home Finance Limited was availing loans to the tune of 5,572 crore rupees from 18 banks, including Union Bank of India. A thorough investigation will be conducted into the allegations of defrauding all the banks, FIs, etc. by the accused. Now, this is the latest that we have gotten. We'll try and see if we can go across to our correspondents in Mumbai to get us the latest. I'm also putting out more details. We have just got details about the total loan that was being looked into, or that is the loan that was sought by Reliance Home Finance Limited. This is the breaking news. Now we have just got Reliance Home Finance Limited. Can we just put out this breaking news right now that we have got? There is a breaking news that has come in right now. Can we put this out? Reliance Home Finance Limited was availing loans to the tune of 5,572 crore rupees from 18 banks. That's the latest we're getting in. This with regards to the premises that are now being searched by the Central Bureau of Investigation. According to sources within the Central Bureau of Investigation, in fact, they have obtained search warrant of 2 locations. One happens to be Jai Anil Ambani's residential premises of Jai Anmol Ambani, as well as residential premises of Ravindra Sudhalkar, the ex-CEO and whole-time director of RHFL, and the searches are being carried out as we speak. And in terms of documents that have been recovered, we are being told several incriminating documents have been observed and are now being taken into possession during the searches. We're also getting in the details of the loan that was availed by RHFL. That was 5,572 crore rupees loan that was availed from 18 banks, which includes NBFCs as well as corporate bodies, including Union Bank of India. And we're also getting in details that this was declared as fraud back in October 2024. It was set as an NPA, a non-performing asset, in 2019, and it was declared by the Union Bank of India. In fact, a complaint has now been raised by the Union Bank of India. That's the latest that we've got. We'll try and see if we can go across to Pranav from the digital floor, getting us the latest details as we put out the full details of this case. Now, let me just put this into perspective that this is a fresh case that has been registered against Anil Ambani's son. In fact, this is the first case to have ever been registered against Jai Anil Ambani, son of Anil Ambani. Earlier cases in which Anil Ambani has been questioned was by the Enforcement Directorate. This was in the bank fraud scam is what we are being told. In fact, in that particular case, a supplementary charge sheet, that is the fake bank guarantee scam case, a supplementary charge sheet has been filed, but Anil Ambani hasn't been named in the charge sheet that has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate. They're essentially looking at multiple loans that were allegedly received by Anil Ambani linked entities. In fact, this was between 2017 and 2019 when roughly over 6,000 crore rupees loan was received by entities linked to Anil Ambani. That's the latest that we have just got from our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation. We're going to track this story very closely, all that we know so far. Let me also now take you through the other big story that we are tracking today. This is with regards to the warnings that were essentially given to the DGCA and whether at all there was a free run that was given to Indigo to begin with. In fact, earlier today there is a confirmation coming in from the Civil Aviation Ministry that finally some action has been taken against the routes which Indigo has been operating. 5% cut that has taken place, and now Indigo's CEO has put out the latest statement. We'll see if we can put out that in a short while from now. And this is what the CEO had to say.
Dear customers, I'm Peter Albers, the CEO of Indigo. Following our earlier communications, today I'm here to share that your airline, Indigo, is back on its feet and our operations are stable. We've let you down when a major operational disruption happened, and we're sorry for that. The beauty of air travel is that it brings together people, emotions, ambitions, and aspiration. And we know that you were traveling for various reasons. Thousands of you could not travel, and we are profusely apologetic about that. While we cannot undo the cancellations, I want to reassure that ever since, our entire Indigo team has been working very hard. First and foremost for you, our valued customers. Initially, our first priority was to get all stranded and delayed customers safely to their destinations or back home. Then we started our refunds. No questions asked. Lakhs of customers have already received their full refunds, and we continue to do so on a daily basis. Rest assured that we are fully committed in getting this done. Most of the bags stuck at the airport have already been delivered back to your homes, and our teams are working very hard on delivering the remaining ones very soon. And we also continue to address all customer needs. In parallel to addressing your needs as a customer, the restoration of Indigo's network and flights was being done on a war footing. On December 5th, we could only fly 700 flights. Thereafter, gradually yet steadily improving to 1500 on 6th, 1650 on 7th, 1800 yesterday, and today more than 1800. As of yesterday, we are back of flying to all our 138 destinations in our network, and our on-time performance has also been normalized. Earlier, we had indicated to normalize between the 10th and the 15th of December. I can confirm now that today, as of December 9th, our operations are fully stabilized, which means flights reflecting on our website are scheduled to operate with an adjusted network. So please continue to check our website for updates. We continue to work in full cooperation with the government. And now that the immediate crisis is dealt with, we started to focus internally on what has led to this, lessons learned to be drawn, and how to emerge stronger from this. While there's still customer angst, I would like to also share that we're getting heartwarming messages from our customers and the people are back to booking on our flights, which is giving us a big encouragement. Thank you for accepting our apology, and thank you for your patience, understanding and support during this difficult time. Please keep the faith in us. We're still the airline you have known us to be.
Whether a leeway has been given to Indigo, that's a question that has been asked time and again. The very fact that Indigo happens to operate at least over 600 routes, which is effectively translates to over 60% of the domestic routes are now being handled by Indigo. Many have raised questions as to whether at all the Civil Aviation Ministry has gone slow on Indigo and has given a long rope to them. In fact, this question was answered by the Civil Aviation Ministry today. The minister himself on the floor of the parliament essentially indicated that this mess is because of the internal crew rostering process. This somehow has not been accepted. This argument has not been accepted by the Pilots Association. In fact, earlier today, my colleague Niranjan spoke to ALPA, and this is what they had to say.
When a law or a regulation is implemented or is rolled out, it has to be implemented in a similar manner, in the same fashion to all operators. Giving dispensation to one operator on a reason which is not justifiable, which is quite evident that the dispensation is given for the commitment of the flights which they have taken, and basically is for commercial interest. So when such dispensations are being given, there is no guarantee or there is no substantiating evidence that the safety has not been compromised. For example, if I tell you that giving dispensation to a particular airline, in this case, say Indigo, and giving them dispensation or rest time or number of landings or night definition, everything, does it immune the pilots of Indigo from the fatigue which the other operator pilot would have had if he was operating in these time zones or in these conditions? No. And at the same time, if something goes wrong, will the same regulator and the ministry give dispensation to the crew? that this accident or whatever the violation has happened because of this dispensation which was taken beyond the given limitations by the DGCA itself.
Yes.
Okay. So if you say that you have a limit of 12 hours of flying or whatever it is, because of your own requirement, you say 14 hours for these many months. Will you guarantee that in those extra 2 hours, which was actually under the fatiguing limitation, that nothing will happen? And if it happens, who will be the responsible? Who will take the responsibility? Operator, regulator, or the ministry himself or itself? So all these things have to be answered, and it is very, very quite. We are confused. In fact, everybody is confused as to what rule are you flying under. Are you flying under a rule which is dispensation given to a particular airline, or you follow your airline which has already been given dispensation over and above what it was given in the FDTL? So there are a lot of FDTLs which are happening and a lot of dispensations. So we are all confused as to what to understand from this whole scenario. And basically it's very, very simple. It is because the whole duty time limitation was made to enhance safety, to save souls of the innocent passengers who are flying on trust on the system which was made to enhance safety. When you dilute, this is basically diluting the safety, the margins. Then when the whole trust is broken, and how do you expect people to again trust you again? And having said that, this 2 months thing, whatever they given up to 18th February thing, will this be guaranteed that within these time the duty time again will be implemented or not? Or probably you'll ask for more extension? Okay, now if not, the operator who has been given extension, you are setting a precedence that you are setting a precedence that another operator can come back and ask for a dispensation because you have given it to certain operator. So you are opening up more channels for giving dispensation than closing and getting this FTTL implemented. So this is going to open more channels for others to come and ask.
I have I'll take one more question with you, because one key aspect of this entire exercise that we are now seeing of the DGCA investigate what really went wrong, right? We all know what went wrong, but the irony is DGCA approved the winter roster, right? People within the DGCA approved the roster, and ironically we are hearing from pilots' bodies that people who approved the roster are also the people now investigating the entire fiasco. Is that correct? I don't get it. I mean, because it doesn't make any sense. How can you be the criminal and then probe the crime itself?
I'm not very sure exactly if you're talking about a particular department person or the regulator name-wise. I'm not very sure. I'll not be able to say anything because we don't have any substantiating evidence. But yes, I would like to agree with you that when an organization or a regulator or any agency has given approval of a certain law or certain operations, then the investigation would have to be done by a third agency which is independent of such kind of inferences or can be influenced. So there has to be an independent organization or agency which the ministry should come up with and say that it will not have any vested interest or any personal interest in this, because since the DGCA is the DGCA is the one who approved the operations, then it would be more viable and more wise or justifiable to give this investigation to a third party agency which does not have any influence from outside or any special interest in the investigation.
Well, some measures have now been taken by the Ministry of Civil Aviation to allay the concerns of the passengers. In fact, several bags that have been kept at various terminals across India, particularly in Delhi and Mumbai, it's turning out to be one of the biggest challenges to ensure that the passengers get their bags safely. In fact, the Joint Secretary of Civil Aviation caught up with my colleague Meenakshi earlier today.
I came here to do a surprise check as per the instruction of Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation and Secretary Civil Aviation. Yesterday night we decided to check all the airport, a surprise check, how the passengers are get affected, anything, how the things are moving forward. I came here to check the Mumbai. and things are in control. We discussed with all the stakeholders, especially with the airport operators, ATC control managers, and other operators, and things are going good, and CSF staff particularly. And I'll just give some statistics report. Till yesterday, number of flight delayed is actually 905, and total number of passengers affected due to the cancellation by the Indigo around 40,789 passengers, and total number of passengers directly affected due to the delay is around 2,66,567 passengers. And major affected sectors from Mumbai is domestically Ahmedabad, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Cochin and Goa and Lucknow. Internationally, Armstrong and Istanbul is affected during this period. Peak days of disruption is actually happened on 4th and 5th December. And team has done a beautiful job. Today I went and saw all the places, including a cargo handling area, baggage handling area, passengers. We discussed with the passengers. I discussed with the passengers along with my team. A lot of improvements happened, particularly today. Arrival around 14 has cancelled, and delayed almost 17 aircraft has been delayed today. So any further, this one actually baggage is concerned, around 780 baggages are available at the airport, and 90% will be dispatched to the people by tomorrow, and 10% of the dispatch will happen depend upon the international zone. Most of the things are the international baggages.
So how soon the normalcy will be restored?
If you see right now, almost all it has reached 90%. Another only the 10% is on. One more thing we are doing is we are giving intimations to the passenger before 6 hours. So the passengers are not rushing to the airport. So the airport, if you see, there's no passengers are available for cancellation purpose. That's one thing we've done it. The passenger who reaching airport should reach the destination.
Well, in fact, let me also take you through the latest details coming in on the case that has been registered against Anil Ambani's son Jay Anil Ambani. In fact, 2 cases have been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation against companies that have been linked to Anil Ambani. After RHFL, we are now given to understand that the Central Bureau of Investigation has filed a second case. And the second case is related to yet another company of Anil Ambani. This time, we are being told that a criminal case has been registered by the CBI against Reliance Commercial Finance Limited. It is a company of Reliance ADA Group. Its promoters, directors and unknown bank officials based on a complaint of Bank of Maharashtra on the allegations of criminal conspiracy, cheating and criminal misconduct, thereby causing wrongful loss of 57 crore rupees to Bank of Maharashtra. In fact, RCFL was availing loans to the tune of 9,280 crore rupees from 31 banks. And in this particular case, the CBI has obtained search warrants and they have begun searches at official premises of the company, that is the RCFL at Mumbai, residential premises of Devang Praveen Modi, Director of Reliance Commercial Finance Limited, and these searches are being carried out in Pune. And apart from this, remember the first case that was registered was against criminal case that is against Reliance Home Finance Limited, 228 crore rupees bank fraud case. So in one single day, we are looking at 2 cases that have been registered, one against RHFL and the other against RCFL. In the RHFL case, Jay Anil Ambani has been booked by the Central Bureau of Investigation. His residential premises are now being searched by the central agency. In the second case, we are being told that RCFL has also been booked. Let me go across to my colleague Pranav, who is joining us from the digital floor. Pranav, with regards to 2 cases that are now being registered, one that is against RHFL and the other happens to be RCFL. Is there any response really coming in from Anil Ambani's side, because this is for the first time a case has been registered against his son?
Well, Shravan, we tried to reach out to the bourses just to check if there are any responses, but no, the group has yet not responded. It just comes at a time when there have been a number of cases, ED cases in fact, going on against the Anil Ambani group. So we were expecting some kind of a response and are still hopeful. The markets are still open. So we are expecting some kind of a response from the group.
Just help us understand and our viewers understand what this case is all about, and more importantly the distinction with the earlier case that was registered against Anil Ambani. This happens to be a fresh case that has been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, this is a completely separate case. It's just that it comes at a time when there have been ongoing cases. Just to give you a gist of what the case is, it's primary as far as the RHFL is concerned. It's about a 228 crore bank fraud, wherein Union Bank of India has accused that the funds were misused. The purpose for which they were taken and the purpose for which they were used are two different, are different from each other, and that's the primary accusation here. We were also checking with some of the experts as to how the case will further go. So what we are given to understand is that CBI is likely to examine the loan account documents as well as the Board of Governance and the decisions that were taken and take the case forward.
Well, thank you very much, Pranav, for getting us the latest details. In fact, a fresh case has now been registered against Anil Ambani. More details coming up in a short while from now. Shifting focus now to the other story that we are getting to you. 12 Maoist cadres, including a top CPI Maoist Central Committee member, have surrendered in Chhattisgarh. In fact, we're given to understand that the surrender is being seen as a major breakthrough in the state's fight against left-wing extremism. Here's a quick report.
In a major setback to the Maoist movement, 12 hardcore cadres, led by Central Committee member Ram Dher, surrendered before security forces in Chhattisgarh's Rajnandgaon. The group laid down arms under the state's rehabilitation policy. Among those who surrendered are senior Maoist operatives carrying multiple cash rewards on their heads. Police say the group was active in several violent incidents across central Chhattisgarh.
सबको मालूम है कि कई दशकों से हमारा ये छत्तीसगढ़ नक्सलवाद से ग्रसित है और कहीं न कहीं छत्तीसगढ़ के विकास में बहुत बड़ा ये बाधक भी है.
Officials credit sustained anti-Naxal operations and improved intelligence networks for the success. The surrendered cadres will undergo de-radicalization and skill training under the government's rehabilitation program. With continuous surrenders and intensified operations, Chhattisgarh's battle against Maoist extremism appears to be reaching a concluding phase.
Well, actor turned politician Vijay addressed a rally in Karur. This was his first public appearance after the Karur stampede that took place. During the rally, he delivered some sharp criticism at both the Tamil Nadu government as well as the centre, accusing them of failing the people. Take a look at what Vijay had to say. Many would say that this was a show of strength by Vijay after the stampede that took place.
TVK chief and actor Vijay addressed a large public rally today in Uppalam Expo ground in Puducherry. Addressing a massive crowd, the TVK leader praised the Puducherry administration. He added that for union government, Tamil Nadu is a separate state, Puducherry is another separate union territory, but for him, both are same. Speaking at the event, Vijay stated the contrast between the two governments was stark. He stressed that Puducherry government is different from the DMK government. He emphasized that the union government had not done anything for the state even after 16 resolutions. He also listed a series of grievances from lack of job opportunities and absence of IT investments. Vijay stressed that all these issues need urgent improvement. Adding on to his criticism towards the union government, Vijay said that the centre had repeatedly sidelined Puducherry's aspirations. He took a sharp dig at the DMK and said that people must not believe the DMK as they will cheat them. Speaking about the upcoming elections in the state, actor turned politician Vijay said that TVK will stand as an independent party. This was the first time that he addressed supporters outdoors since the Karur tragedy in September, where 41 people lost their lives. Meanwhile, a bit of tension occurred at the rally after a man attempted to enter the venue with a gun. However, security personnel stopped him before entering the public meeting. Later, the police clarified that the man had carried the gun in the name of protection and was not aiming to hurt Vijay. With the union government and DMK in crosshairs, Vijay's TVK will contest independently, focusing on jobs and development to set the stage for a tough Puducherry election battle.
Republic gets the first picture of fugitive Gaurav Luthra, focused now on the Dubai link that is emerging.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये हित तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा आर्नब मसाला।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा है, नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा है, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? मेरे को प्यार चाहिए। MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
First picture of the Luthra brothers from hideout. That's Gaurav Luthra in Phuket, moments after the fire. One of the clubs owned by the Luthra brothers, Romeo Lane, being demolished in a short while from now. How many more clubs did they own which were illegal? CBI books Anil Ambani's son as the focus shifts to a new case of wrongful gains.
Encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Aviation Minister finally mentions airline duopoly, says challenge is to ensure that the duopoly does not call the shots. And the advocate who targeted the former CGI, B.R. Gawai himself, is attacked in the Delhi court. Ladies and gentlemen, as we were getting the breaking news, what we will do is in 50-50, we will keep the breaking news of the Dubai connection on as we get you the pictures from Goa as well. There's a Dubai connection. We are hearing that the Luthra brothers were in Dubai hours before the fire, and there is a fear that they own a home in Dubai and they could go to Dubai straight from Phuket. Now that is the fear. Accused had returned, that is Luthra brothers, the Birch brothers had returned from Dubai a few days before the tragedy, and now there is a possibility that they could be heading back to Dubai, and that is why agencies have moved Interpol to ensure that they are somehow stopped in Dubai now. Shravali, I'm going across to Swarali, joining us live from the Romeo Lane Club. Police has arrived there. That's the club that was owned by the Luthra brothers and that is going to be demolished in a few minutes from now. She's at the club that is going to be demolished. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, there is a club that was owned by them, also illegal, and another club also illegal. 25 people died. We don't know how many illegal clubs there are in Goa, but the Luthra brothers, the focus is on them. After the fire, 25 lives were lost in an illegal club. This other club where my colleague Swarali is going to be demolished. A few minutes from now, Swarali, over to you.
Yes, that's true. The second nightclub, that is Romeo Lane, which is situated in the Wagator, is under the scrutiny and is going to be demolished as the orders have been given by Pramod Sawant, CM of Goa. And you can see the action has started because the police officials and the government officers are over here. And now we are going to try and talk to people who are here. Sir, आप हमें बताइए कि क्या action लिया जाने वाला है, कब होने वाला है? As we can see, as always, police is not ready to talk. But let me tell you, the entire wooden structure which is situated on the seashore, this is a second property owned by Luthra brothers who are on a flee. The entire wooden structure will be demolished, and you can see it is an entire wooden structure, and fire safety norms are missing from here as well, and that's why the crackdown is going to be done and it will be demolished. The action will be taken soon, and as we all know, 4 people are arrested in this case, and the 5th one is Bharat Kohli, who is also being questioned right now. Now let me also tell you, we are viewing the exclusive visuals of Gaurav Luthra, was present on the Phuket airport. Now, few hours before they left for Phuket, 4 days before they left for Phuket, they had flown down from Dubai to India, and within a few hours itself of the entire fire tragedy that unfolded, they had left for Phuket in 6E1073 flight. They also own a house in Dubai, so a connection is also investigated. Police officials have started pouring in, and let me show you the entire wooden structure when the fire security lapses were also seen. Sir, आप हमें बताइए क्या एक्शन लिया जाने वाला है? क्या एक्शन लिया जाने वाला है, sir? So we are also trying to talk with personnel who are present over here, and the structure is a second property, and there are many more such nightclubs, restaurants, bars. There's a possibility that crackdown can be made, and as we all already know that multiple properties are owned by Luthra brothers in Goa, and more than that, in 22 states they have the properties. So the next in the scrutiny will come the other properties owned by Luthra brothers.
We're going to stay with those pictures there at the club. the police are at the club and they're going to be demolishing that structure. The Luthra brothers, Saurav and Gaurav, owned these clubs in Goa. They had other partners as well. So their other partners are also under scanner. Now, across India, including Delhi NCR, including in Goa, including we are hearing in Gurugram, other parts of the country, they did own clubs and those clubs are also under scanner. Now, Swarali, I'm going across to her. There is some action there of the police perhaps beginning the crackdown. We'll go across to Swarali, who's there. Swarali, I'm coming back to you. What kind of violations are being reported from these clubs? What kind of licenses did they not have? And who's in charge of giving these licenses?
So, licenses and permissions are issued at various levels. Maybe a trade license or a fire NOC is approved by the fire department. On the other hand, excise permissions are given. That several permissions to start a business or nightclub as such. But right now we are standing in the Romeo Lane nightclub, which is situated in the Wagator area. Let me show you, the entire structure is made of wooden planks. And even there was a signage of fire exit, which was that staircase itself was also made of wooden planks. So it's very clear that how the fire safety norms were missing, and that's the reason in a major crackdown, this entire structure is supposed to be brought down, CM has already promised that various other nightclubs which are present. Let me cut across directly to the officer who is over here. Sir, क्या action लिया जाने वाला है?
No, we are going to demolish the illegal part of what they have encroached on the beach side.
सर, ये फायर इंसिडेंट होने से पहले क्यों नहीं हुआ?
नहीं, ये इसका और बर्ज पर रोमियो लेन का फायर इंसिडेंट जो इससे लेना देना कुछ नहीं है. इसका रिपोर्ट, इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट ऑलरेडी हो चुका था. गवर्नमेंट ने डिसीजन ले लिया है, तो वी आर डेमोलिशिंग. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डेमोलिश्ड इट इन जुलाई. नाउ दे हैव रिकंस्ट्रक्टेड इट अगेन, सो वी आर डेमोलिशिंग इट अगेन.
ये सेकंड टाइम डिमोलिशन हो रहा है.
They are going on doing it. That is the high-handedness of the owner.
Same property.
Same.
क्या lapses थे? Security norms, fire security norms?
No. See, this has nothing to do with tourism department, because this comes under the jurisdiction of the home department. So there is nothing to do with tourism. What we are concerned is with the encroachment on the beach. Tourism is the custodian of the beach. So whatever encroachment is there on the beach side, we are going to demolish.
Encroachment और बाकी क्या lapses थे sir?
No, we are concerned only with the encroachment. So we are going to demolish the encroached part.
पहले कब demolish हुआ था?
जुलाई में.
जुलाई में. और ये वापस बनाई है same structure?
Yes.
Actually, they were the operational managers. They had to manage the day-to-day affairs. One had to look after the basic operations, electrical things are put in place, and the fire extinguishers are there. So they were the operational people who were, and each manager had the specific role of the operation of the nightclub. So their role was also found negligent, and that's why they.
What about the
Fifth accused, we arrested him from Delhi, and he has landed in Goa, and he'll be produced in the court.
Ma'am, you said other people are on our radar. Can you please elaborate on more?
So because we have not yet arrested them and we are after them, so all of you know that they are the owners.
How many people are you looking for?
3, you know the names, that they are the owners, and the others.
Who are in FIR?
Ajay Gupta, he is also, yes, he is also one of the partners. So in the documents we found his name also, so he is also one of our accused, and other people are also there who will be arrested. As in our investigation, if we get to know their negligent act also, they would also be arrested.
Madam, you have asked those suspended officers of government of Goa to report police station to join the investigation. So did they join the investigation?
Yes, they have joined today.
They gave the statement?
And we have interrogated them.
All 3 of them?
2 have joined today.
Who are?
We'll give you the details. We do not want to take names.
So similarly, madam, whoever IPS officers who have stopped earlier police officers to conduct
this is a hearsay, I suppose. I am working on whatever is coming in the documents, and as per our investigation.
You will be calling those.
If there is if we get anything in any investigation, we are.
But as per document.
Yes. Any what complete? That if you get this thing, anything during the investigation, you call those
No, please don't put...
no, that's why I'm asking, that's why I stopped her.
So right now I have told that whatever role of the people are coming on record, we would call and interrogate them. The two officers, the deputy director and the lady, those we've called.
Ma'am, the third person didn't turn up despite issuing notice. So any further action on this?
Yes, we'll give him another opportunity to join and then we'll see what happens.
The secretary has not turned up.
Secretary has not come?
Secretary has not turned up?
No, he's not.
Secretary has not turned up. Both this thing, former Panchayat director and Pollution Control Board.
They have joined.
Madam, you have called a surprise of that Arbara Panchayat.
Yes.
Is there a statement has been recorded of him or something more required?
We have to talk to him. Record his statement.
There was one partner with the Luthra brothers called Ajay Gupta.
Yes.
Has he been called?
He is one of our accused. We are after him. And we've opened his LOC also. We've issued warrants against all three of them.
Ma'am, now action is being taken, properties are being sealed, but very particular location, the Birch, was also reported as something which was not allowed, which had many violations under place, and police were also informed about that. Then why it took so much of time to take action?
Police was informed about what?
Multiple complaints of illegal police officers.
Jacket, and you will find that all these fabrics represent the people. When the people of Assam give you the gamcha, they're not just giving you a piece of cloth. They're giving an expression. They're giving you a piece of their history, their tradition, their future, their imagination. It's the same when the Nagas wear their jacket. When they come and see us, they make us wear the jacket because they want us to be embraced by the fabric. But Speaker Sir, these fabrics are beautiful. But if you look slightly deeper and you look closely at the fabric, you will find that each one of them has thousands of little threads embracing each other. A Kanchipuram sari might have a golden thread, but the golden thread means nothing without the green thread or the yellow thread near it. The other thing to notice about the sari or any other fabric is that all the threads are equal. No one thread is superior to another thread. They all come together. The threads cannot protect you. The threads cannot keep you warm. But when they come together as a fabric, they can keep you warm, they can protect you, they can express what you have in the heart. Speaker Sir, in the same way, our nation is also a fabric. It's a fabric made up of 1.4 billion people, and the fabric is woven together by the vote. Let me repeat it. It is a fabric of 1.5 billion people, and it is woven together by the vote. Everything that we see, in fact, this house where I'm standing today, the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Vidhan Sabhas across the country, Panchayats across the country, none of them would exist if the vote did not exist. We talk with great pride about HAL, BHEL, ONGC, Tejas, Chandrayaan. We have a list of things we say. Not one of those would exist without the vote. Speaker, sir, it is the idea that every thread, every person in the Union of India is equal that disturbs my friends in the RSS. They are happy to see the fabric, but they cannot stand the idea that every single person in the fabric of our country, regardless of what religion they come from, regardless of what community they come from, regardless of what language they speak, should be equal. Because they fundamentally do not believe in equality. They believe in a hierarchy, and they believe that they should be on top of that hierarchy. Speaker, sir, on the 30th of January, 1948, 3 bullets pierced the chest of Mahatma Gandhi. Nathuram Godse assassinated the father of our nation. Today, our friends do not embrace him. Today, our friends have pushed him away. It's an uncomfortable truth. But that's not where the project ended. You see, as I said, everything has emerged from the vote. All the institutions have emerged from the vote. So it's obvious that the RSS has to capture all the institutions that have emerged from the vote. So the project, after Gandhiji's assassination, the next step of the project was the wholesale capture of India's institutional framework. So what is this, sir?
Sir, अभी नहीं करना होगा
I'm doing, relax.
मैं बुलाता हूँ प्लीज बैठिए
So
प्लीज
sir,
आप बोले पर हाथ मत जोड़े
Sir, these are uncomfortable truths, but they have to be spoken. So these are uncomfortable truths, but they have to be spoken. My friends don't like the connections I'm making. They're disturbed by them. It's obvious. Speaker, sir, so after the father of the nation was assassinated, his vision of an equal India, of an India where institutions belong to the people, had to be destroyed. And so the process started, and the RSS attempted to capture one institution after the other. And I will give some examples so that it is crystal clear that this is the case. Everybody knows how vice chancellors are placed on top of Indian universities today. Every single person knows this. You go to any university, you speak to any youngster in India, he will tell you that it does not matter whether the professor has qualifications. It does not matter whether the professor has a scientific temperament. The only thing that matters is the professor belongs.
माननीय सदस्य एक मिनट माननीय सदस्य चुनाव सुधारों पर चर्चा हो रही है।
सर ये मैं उसी पे कर रहा हूँ।
आप किसी भी संगठन का नाम जो इस हाउस में उसका नाम ले। एलओपी है तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है। एलओपी का मतलब नहीं, आप जनरल बात बोलो। आप राष्ट्रपति भाषण में बोलिए जनरल बात।
सर हम लोग सुनना चाहते हैं। सर स्पीकर सर हम लोग सुनेंगे शांति से। हम लोग शांति से सुनना चाहते हैं और ये आप लोग सुनिए ना क्या कहना चाहते हैं।
धमकी देंगे आप?
हम लोग सुनने के लिए बैठा है। अभी तक नेता प्रतिपक्ष एक शब्द चुनाव सुधार का अभी तक आया ही नहीं है।
संसदीय कार्य मंत्री बोल रहे हैं।
मैं स्पीकर का परमिशन से ही बोल रहा हूँ। हम सुनने के लिए बैठे हैं। अरे हम सुनने के लिए बैठे हैं। नेता प्रतिपक्ष चुनाव सुधार के लिए जो सुझाव देंगे सुनने के लिए तो हम बैठे हैं, लेकिन चुनाव सुधार को नहीं बोलते हुए कहा जो इस सदन से कोई वास्ता नहीं, जो संगठन उसका कहानी किसी और का बोलना ये कोई उचित नहीं है। समय बहुमूल्य है, समय का मर्यादा भी है। सबका सब यहाँ सुनने के लिए बैठे हैं और ये समय बहुत कीमती है, इसलिए हर एक पल अच्छा शब्दों का कोई अच्छा ज्ञान दे, सुझाव दे, सुनने के लिए हम लोग बैठे हैं। मेरा एक सीमित अनुरोध है नेता प्रतिपक्ष से, आप विषय पर ही रहिए। हम लोग सब बैठे हैं, गृह मंत्री जी भी सुनने के लिए बैठे हैं, लेकिन आप विषय पर नहीं बोलेंगे तो जो विषय तय किया गया है उसे क्या मतलब है। अगर चुनाव सुधार पर ही नहीं बोलेंगे तो फिर इतना समय सबका क्यों बर्बाद करना चाहते हैं नेता प्रतिपक्ष। What is it? You are parliamentary affairs minister. You are a parliamentary affairs minister. You are disturbing the lobby. How can it be? You are a parliamentary affairs minister. You are disturbing. Subject में नहीं आपके lobby. आपका lobby subject में नहीं. ये विषय कर रहे हैं.
The discussion. One second. The discussion is about the vote and electoral. The discussion is about the vote.
एक मिनट
सर मुझे बोलने नहीं।
एक मिनट बैठिए। माननीय सदस्य में बैठे बैठे अनऑफिशियली बोल रहे हैं, उस विषय बोल रहे हैं। सदन की गरिमा को बनाए रखें, आसन को चुनौती देने का प्रयास मत करिए, ये ठीक नहीं है।
Speaker sir, I want to make it very clear. Please. Speaker sir, I want to make it very clear. The discussion is about votes. The discussion is about the stealing of votes. The discussion is about the SIR, and I am framing my discussion about votes.
Yes.
And what is happening here is patently unfair. I am not being allowed to speak. I am being disturbed, and I put my protest here. I have done absolutely nothing wrong. I am talking about the subject. In order to capture the vote, you have to capture institutions. I am saying that institutions of India are captured, and I will come to the point, which is Election Commission is captured. So, the project of the RSS was to capture the institutional framework of the country, and I said how the education system has been captured. Vice Chancellor after Vice Chancellor after Vice Chancellor is placed not on merit, not on capability, not on scientific temper, but on the fact that he belongs to a particular organization. Second capture, which helps in destroying democracy, the capture of the intelligence agencies. We have the Home Minister sitting here, the capture of the CBI, of the ED, of the Income Tax Department. the systematic placement of bureaucrats who favor their ideology and attack the opposition and anybody who chooses to oppose the RSS. That is the second institutional capture. And the third there are many more. I can go on. And the third institutional capture.
What is this? Mr. Minister.
मानिए प्लीज मानिए.
Yes, become Submarine.
The third capture of the institution that directly controls the election system of our country, the Election Commission. Now, I am not saying this without proof. I have put forth adequate proof about how the Election Commission is colluding with those in power to shape the elections. But I want to ask three questions first, which will make it very clear that the BJP is directing and using the Election Commission to damage India's democracy. The first question, why is it that the CJI was removed from the selection panel of the Election Commissioner? What motivation could there be to remove the CJI? Do we not believe in the CJI? Of course we believe in the CJI. Why is he not in that room? I sit in that room. It is so-called a democratic decision. On one side, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. On the other side, the leader of the opposition. I have no voice in that room. What they decide is what happens. So the first question, why is the Prime Minister and Amit Shah so keen on choosing exactly who the Election Commissioner is going to be? Second question, and even more devastating question, no Prime Minister has done this in the history of India. In December 2023, this government changed the law. They changed the law to make sure that no election commissioner could be punished for any action they take while they are election commissioner.
Yes. Immunity.
Why would the Prime Minister and Home Minister give this gift of immunity to the election commissioner? Why would they need to give this tremendous gift that no Prime Minister has given ever before to the election commissioner?
Yes.
Mr. Shah is looking into the ceiling. Maybe he will answer this question when he speaks. And finally, why was the law with regards to CCTVs and the data that they contain changed? Why was a law put in place that allows the Election Commission to destroy CCTV footage 45 days after the election? What is the need? The answer given is it is a question of data. It is not a question of data. It is a question of stealing the election. Now, what is the result of this institutional capture? What is the result of controlling the Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commission? First of all, we have a set of election campaigns that are tailored for the Prime Minister. 3-month, 4-month, 5-month long campaigns are taking place so that the Prime Minister's schedule can be fitted in to the program. Second, we have a Brazilian woman who appears 22 times on the voter list of Haryana.
Please. No.
22 times this lady appears.
एक मिनट प्लीज एक मिनट। आप नेता प्रतिपक्ष है, मैं इस तरीके से सदन की कार्रवाई नहीं चलने दूंगा। ये सदन है, सदन की गरिमा को बनाए रखें। आप सदन की गरिमा से बोलेंगे तो ठीक नहीं, जैसे सदन नहीं चलेगा। नो, गलत तरीका है आपका, नहीं होगा। आप ले रहिए, आप ले रहिए। नहीं, माननीय प्रतिपक्ष के नेता, आप पहले अपने सदस्यों को समझाइए। नहीं चलेगा, नहीं, ठीक नहीं है। नो, नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा। अगर आप
सर
माननीय प्रतिपक्ष के नेता, आप अपने सदस्यों को गरिमा समझाइए।
सर, बट
ये तरीका आप इतने सालों तक यहाँ पर रहे, ये तरीका उचित है क्या?
सर,
विरोध का तरीका होता है, लेकिन ये उचित तरीका नहीं है।
तरीका इधर से
नो,
उधर का तरीका क्या है सर?
नो, सबका तरीका उधर से होगा, उधर से भी बोलेंगे, इधर से बोलेंगे, सब जगह से बोलेंगे।
Speaker sir, I don't agree with the showing of photographs here, but it is a reflection of our democratic structure. This is what is happening in our democracy, that you're not allowing us to show. This Brazilian woman has appeared 22 times on the voter list in Haryana. And not only that, there is one woman whose name has appeared 200 times, more than 200 times in one booth in Haryana. And it is very clear, and I have proven without doubt, that the election of Haryana was stolen. And the theft was ensured by the Election Commission of India. I've said it again and again and again. Now, nowhere has the Election Commission answered my questions. The Election Commission has not told me why this lady's picture has appeared on the polling list. They have not told me why lakhs and lakhs of duplicate voters are existing. They have not told me why a BJP leader is coming from Uttar Pradesh to vote in Haryana. These are straightforward questions. And there is clear proof which I have put in front of the country. Right? But the Election Commission has no answer to these questions. And that is the result of the complete capture of the Election Commission by the people across the aisle. By the way, you're talking about SIR in Bihar. Let me say something about SIR in Bihar. Why is it that after the SIR in Bihar, 1.2 lakh duplicate photos are existing in Bihar, in the voting list? If you've cleaned up the voting list, why are there 1.2 lakh duplicates in Bihar? And we've not just proven this about Haryana. We have proven this in Karnataka, we have proven this in Maharashtra, and I'm absolutely certain this is how you're winning elections in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, in Bihar, across the country. Now, so what I'm putting on the table is, it is very clear that you've captured the institution. I've shown the mechanism of that capture. I'm also showing you how the Election Commission is doing things that are completely out of line. I'm not getting any answers. Right? So now, let us come to how, when we are talking about electoral reform. Electoral reform is very simple. The point is, nobody wants to do it. The government doesn't want to do it. What does electoral reform require? What we've been saying. Number one, give machine-readable voter lists to all political parties 1 month before the election. That's the first step. The second step is take back the law that allows the destruction of CCTVs, CCTV footage. Very simple, not difficult. While you're doing that, Also tell us what is the architecture of the EVM. Give us access to the EVM. Let our experts go and see what is inside the EVM. Till today, we have not had access to the EVM. We are not shown the architecture of the EVM. We're not physically allowed to go and see an EVM. Give us the architecture. Give us access to the EVM. And finally, please change the law that allows the election commissioner to get away with whatever he wants to do. That's all the electoral reforms you need. And I want to assure the election commissioner that they might be under the impression that this law lets them get away with it. Let me remind them, don't worry, we are going to change the law and we are going to change it retroactively and we are going to come and find you. Right? So this is the situation that the country is faced with. You know, everybody says to us, India is the biggest democracy. Actually, I was thinking today, we're not just the biggest democracy, we're the greatest democracy. And I'm not saying it just like that. I'm saying it, America calls itself the oldest democracy. But the democracy that weaves together the largest number of people, the largest diversity of people, the largest number of languages, the largest number of states is this country. And so our most powerful asset, the thing that stitches together the entire concept of modern India, stitches together the fabric of modern India, brings people together, allows them to build this great nation, is being attacked by these people. They're destroying it. You know they're destroying it. I know they're destroying it. And they know they're destroying it. And I'd like to conclude by saying that the biggest anti-national act you can do is vote chori. There is no bigger anti-national act that you can do than vote chori. Because when you destroy the vote, you destroy the fabric of this country. You destroy modern India, you destroy the idea of India. So I'd like to conclude by saying vote chori is an anti-national act, and those across the aisle are doing an anti-national act. Thank you.
निशिकांत दुबे।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय।
क्या बोला भाई?
आए थे हरिभजन को ओटन लगे कपास।
पौधा पहाड़ निकली चुईया।
शहीदों की चिताओं पर खड़ी कांग्रेस जिसने भारत को विभाजित किया, आज राहुल गांधी के बयान से मुझे लड़खड़ाती हुई नजर आई सभापति महोदय। ये संविधान की बात करती हुई नजर आई और मैं 1976 का ये पूरा डिबेट लेकर आया। ये संविधान कैसे कांग्रेस ने तार-तार किया, इसका कोई जवाब नहीं। केवल संविधान की ऐसे किताब नहीं होता है कि शिकारी आएगा, जाल बिछाएगा, दाना डालेगा, उसमें कोई फंसना नहीं। उसी तरह से सभी जो है फंस गए चिड़िया। ये संविधान का किताब जो है राहुल गांधी और उनकी पार्टी के लिए केवल एक उसी प्रकार की कहावत है सभापति महोदय। आप ये समझें, ये 76 में स्वर्ण सिंह की कमेटी बनी 1975 में। उन्होंने सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन को खत्म कर दिया अध्यक्ष महोदय, जिसके लिए आज फिर से लगे हुए हैं। इस संविधान में 121 बार राष्ट्रपति का जिक्र है। इस संविधान में 121 बार राष्ट्रपति महोदया का जिक्र है, महोदय का जिक्र है। आपको आश्चर्य होगा कि एक संशोधन के माध्यम से राष्ट्रपति के सारे अधिकार को कांग्रेस ने खत्म कर दिया। राष्ट्रपति रबर स्टैंप हो गया। राष्ट्रपति जो कैबिनेट कह कर देगी उस पर मोहर मारना उसका अंतिम लक्ष्य हो गया। राष्ट्रपति का इंस्टीट्यूशन खत्म हो गया। इंदिरा गांधी ने इसी वोट चोरी करके जब रायबरेली का चुनाव जीता और जब फैसला हुआ कोर्ट का तो ऐसा सिचुएशन इस व्यक्ति ने पैदा किया, इस पार्टी ने पैदा किया कि आपको आश्चर्य होगा कि 3 जज को बाईपास करके एक ऐसे चीफ जस्टिस को बना दिया जो 8.5 साल तक इसका मुख्य न्यायाधीश रहा। प्रेस की पूरी स्वतंत्रता खत्म हो गई। इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के एडिटर रामनाथ गोयनका से लेकर सारे लोग जो कुछ को कहते थे, और यह केवल इस संविधान संशोधन में हुआ। आज वो इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात करते थे, यूपीएससी जैसी संस्था, और यह पूरे सदन को जानने वाली बात है, यूपीएससी जैसी संस्था जो आईएएस और आईपीएस और ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज को पैदा करती है। कांग्रेस का एक कार्यकर्ता बटुक सिंह 10 साल तक यूपीएससी का चेयरमैन रहा। यह यूपीएससी की हालत कर दी इन्होंने। ये चुनाव आयोग की बात करते हैं। इस देश का पहला चुनाव कमिश्नर, इस देश का पहला चुनाव कमिश्नर सुकुमार सेन, जब वो रिटायर होते हैं तो उसको सूडान का ये राज्यपाल बना देते हैं। वीएस रमा देवी जब रिटायर होती है उसको हिमाचल का गवर्नर बना देते हैं। टीएन शेषन जब रिटायर होते हैं तो उसको अहमदाबाद में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ कैंडिडेट बना देते हैं। और एमएस गिल जब रिटायर होते हैं तो वो इस केंद्र के मंत्री 10 साल तक इसी सदन में रहते हैं। किस चुनाव आयोग की बात करते हो? किस ईमानदारी की बात करते हो? किस पारदर्शिता की बात करते हो? कौन सी कांग्रेस की बात करते हो? सीबीआई की बात कर रहे थे। अश्वनी कुमार जो सोनिया गांधी जी और राहुल गांधी का सिक्योरिटी अफसर था, वो सीबीआई का डायरेक्टर बनाया जाता है। रंजीत सिन्हा जो कांग्रेस के अहमद पटेल के यहां रोज बैठता था और जिसकी डायरी पकड़ाई कि उसने कांग्रेस के कितने नेता कब कहां गए, उसको सीबीआई का डायरेक्टर बना देता। कौन सी बात कर रहे हो यार? सीबीआई का यही हाल, आईबी का यही हाल। एमके नारायण को जो है ढोते रहे, कभी गवर्नर बना दिए, केवल कभी नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एडवाइजर बना दिए। किस तरह की बात करते हो? हाँ, हम आरएसएस के हैं, हम आरएसएस के हैं। मुझे गर्व है कि हम आरएसएस के हैं, और आरएसएस के इसीलिए हैं कि ऋण है शरीरों में, ऋण है शहीदों का, मगर कैसे चुकाएंगे? ऋण है शहीदों का मगर कैसे चुकाएंगे? लहू की जब तक बूंद है तब तक तिरंगा लहराएंगे। यही आरएसएस का मापदंड है और यही हमारा विषय है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, वोट चोरी और एसआईआर, ये पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट जो है राहुल गांधी के लिए ही लेके आया। ये 1980 का, अध्यक्ष महोदय, ये 1980 का कांग्रेस का, ये क्या करना चाहते हैं ये देश को जानने वाला विषय है सर। और मैं सबसे पहले ये बताऊंगा, ये 1980 का जवाब है पी शिवशंकर का, कांग्रेस के मंत्री थे। इंद्रजीत गुप्ता जो है उन्होंने प्रश्न पूछा, और ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी वाइज बिहार का ही चुनाव, चूंकि अभी डॉक्टर संजय जायसवाल बोल रहे थे, बिहार के काफी लोग बोले कि एसआईआर के बाद हम बड़े बहुमत से जीत कर आए हैं। आपको आश्चर्य होगा सर कि 324 की विधानसभा थी, 324 की, पूरे लिस्ट के साथ है, मैंने नहीं दिया, वो पी शिवशंकर ने इस फ्लोर पर दिया है। 81 विधानसभा में दोबारा पोल करना पड़ा, काउंटर मांड हुआ था। और इस 81 विधानसभा में यदि आप कहेंगे तो उसका नाम पढ़ दूंगा सर। विश्रामपुर में 50 जगह जो है बैलेट बॉक्स छीन लिए गए रास्ते में आते हुए। पांकी में बूथ नंबर 28 पर जो है सारे छीन लिए गए। रफीगंज में, नोखा में, भभुआ में, दिनारा में, कारातरी में, मसरख में, बख्तियारपुर में, बाढ़ में, 81 जगह पर चुनाव काउंटर मांड हुआ था सर। इसी बैलेट पेपर के कारण शेड्यूल कास्ट, शेड्यूल ट्राइब, ओबीसी को वोट नहीं देने दिया जा रहा था सर। आज क्या फिर से वही वापस आना चाहते हैं? ये मैं आपको सभापति महोदय, ये सभी लोगों ने कांग्रेस से लेकर डीएमके से लेकर टीएमसी तक वाईएसआर सीपी ने जो है ईवीएम की बात की। ये ईवीएम की पूरी हिस्ट्री लेकर आओ सर, पूरी हिस्ट्री है। हिस्ट्री किसने, ये ईवीएम कौन लेकर आया? ये ईवीएम कांग्रेस लेकर आई सर। पहली बार ईवीएम, आपकी जानकारी के लिए, 1987 में पायलट प्रोजेक्ट के नाते राजीव गांधी जी लेकर आए। ये ईवीएम की पूरी हिस्ट्री है। और 91 में जब नरसिम्हा राव की सरकार आई तो उन्होंने तय किया कि ईवीएम आएगा। और ईवीएम आएगा, ऐसे नहीं आएगा सर। ये सारी रिपोर्ट है सर। ये रिपोर्ट है 1961 के सेलेक्ट कमेटी की, और ये रिपोर्ट है 1971 की सेलेक्ट कमेटी की। ये पूरे पार्लियामेंट को जानने वाली बात है। दोनों रिपोर्ट के अध्यक्ष जगन्नाथ राव कांग्रेसी थे। और जो 1971 की रिपोर्ट बनी उसमें HR गोखले जो कांग्रेस के लॉ मिनिस्टर थे। और दोनों रिपोर्ट में क्या कहा? दोनों रिपोर्ट में यह कहा कि SIR की आवश्यकता है। स्पेशल इंटेंसिव रिवीजन होना इलेक्टोरल फॉर्म्स का सबसे बड़ा विषय है। 1961 में भी यही कहा, 1971 में भी यही कहा। और दूसरी बात कही 1961 में कि चुनाव इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन से होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि राजस्थान के तत्कालीन, जिस राज्य से आप आते हैं सर, राजस्थान के तत्कालीन मुख्यमंत्री मोहनलाल सुखाड़िया का भी चुनाव अवैध इसी आधार पर हुआ था कि पूरे के पूरे बूथ लूट लिए गए। इतना ही नहीं हुआ था सर, इतना ही नहीं किया इन लोगों ने। यदि चौटाला की बात करें तो पूरा का पूरा मेहम का चुनाव काउंटरमांड हो गया था। पटना का चुनाव पूरा आरजेडी ने लूट लिया था। इंद्र कुमार गुजराल प्रधानमंत्री के तौर पर वहां चुनाव लड़ने के लिए गए थे, पूरा का पूरा उन्होंने लूट लिया था। और इस कारण से कहा गया कि ईवीएम की आवश्यकता है, नहीं ईवीएम होगा तो ये चुनाव पूरे रिगिंग हो गए। दूसरा, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी इस कमेटी के मेंबर थे और LK आडवाणी मेंबर थे। उन्होंने कहा कि बूथ वाइज ही काउंटिंग करो, क्योंकि आप लोग जब चुनाव के रोल को घुमाते हो तो उसमें बूथ से पता नहीं चलता है। तो क्या तर्क दिया गया आपको पता है सर? यह तर्क यह दिया गया कि बूथ वाइज यदि काउंटिंग करने लगेंगे तो जितने ये गुंडे बदमाश मवाली हैं वो वोटरों को मारेंगे। इसीलिए आपको ध्यान हो, उस वक्त काउंटिंग वो होती थी जिसमें कि सभी बूथों को मिला दिया जाता था और जिसमें इनको रिगिंग करने की सबसे बड़ी सुविधा होती सर।
गिरे, ठीक है ना, पेट बुढ़िया। चलो बोलिए बोलिए।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, बड़ा ये लोग, मैं आपको बताऊं कि इतिहास के पन्नों को तोड़ना मरोड़ना यदि कोई सीखे तो उसको कांग्रेस से सीख जरूर लेनी चाहिए सर।
चलो बाहर ले लेना, बाहर पैर मुड़ा, कोई दिक्कत।
यदि किसी को इतिहास के पन्नों को तोड़ना और मरोड़ना है तो उसको कांग्रेस से सीख लेनी चाहिए। आज कांग्रेस के वक्ता ने बड़ा भाषण देते हुए कहा कि राजीव गांधी जी ने 1988 में इस देश का इलेक्टोरल रिफॉर्म्स का सबसे बड़ा संशोधन किया। और क्या संशोधन किया? 21 साल जो उम्र थी उस उम्र को 18 साल कर दिया। सर, यदि कांग्रेसियों में हिम्मत है तो ये 1972 के ज्वाइंट कमेटी की रिपोर्ट है। 1972 के ज्वाइंट कमेटी की रिपोर्ट है जिसने कि ये रिकमेंड किया कि 21 साल के बदले 18 साल होना चाहिए। और उसको करने में अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी और लाल कृष्ण आडवाणी का नोट ऑफ डिसेंट, मैं इसको प्लेस कर दूंगा सर। ये हमने किया। आपने 16 साल, चूंकि हमको मौका नहीं मिला शासन में आने का, और 2 साल जो हम मौके में थे 77 से लेकर 80 तक, इतनी लड़ाई हो गई कि हम इंप्लीमेंट नहीं कर पाए। आप उसको 16 साल बाद इंप्लीमेंट कर पाए। आज उसके लिए आप कहते हो कि हमने ले लिया, हमने ले लिया, हमने ले लिया, हमने काम कर लिया। आज SIR की जो बात हो रही है और जो महाराष्ट्र और इसकी बात हो रही सर, आपको मैं बताऊं कि मैं बिहार का और महाराष्ट्र का रिजल्ट लेकर आया सर। SIR कहां हुआ वोट कहां बढ़े कहां घटे और किस पार्टी को कौन सी सीटें मिली। बिहार का सर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी का नाम है वाल्मीकि नगर, डॉक्टर संजय जायसवाल बैठे हुए हैं, उनके बगल की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी है। वोट का डिलीशन हुआ 2311, वहां से 1675 वोट से जो बलेरो में बैठने लायक जितनी सीटें मिली, 6 सीट जो कांग्रेस को मिली, उसमें से 1675 वोट से कांग्रेस जीती। दूसरा सीट है चनपटिया, एसआईआर से डिलीशन हुआ 1033, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस 602 वोट से जीती। तीसरा सीट है ढाका, एसआईआर का डिलीशन हुआ 457, 178 सीट से वोट से आरजेडी जीती और उसमें 298 लोग ऐसे हैं सभापति महोदय, आपकी अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपकी जानकारी के लिए, जो विदेश में बैठे हुए हैं, दुबई में और कुवैत में, और उन्होंने यहां वोट डाल दिया। चौथी सीट है फारबिसगंज, एसआईआर का डिलीशन हुआ 1400, 221 वोट से कांग्रेस जीती। पांचवी सीट है बलरामपुर, जिसमें 1468 डिलीशन हुआ और हम जीते एलजेपी रामविलास 389 वोट से।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
सीक्रेट रेसिपी एमडीएच का जीरा सिर्फ जलजीरा मसाला।
रहते हैं उनका नाम कटा और मुझे खुशी है कि उनका नाम कटा, क्योंकि वो दिल्ली में रहते हैं तो किसी कीमत पर बिहार में वोट देने के अधिकारी नहीं थे। 70 साल का एसआईआर है क्या सर? 70 साल का एक आदमी तजीमुल, मैं आपको नाम कहता हूं क्योंकि मुझे पार्टी ने प्राणपुर का इंचार्ज बनाया था सर। एक मुझे खबर मिली, मैं उसके घर पर गया, तजीमुल नाम था। 70 साल में वो आदमी आकर कहता है कि मैं वोटर लिस्ट में अपना नाम डालना चाहता हूं। इलेक्शन कमीशन ने पूछा कि 18 साल जब वोटिंग का राइट हो गया तो आप 70 साल तक क्या कर रहे थे? 2020 के वोटर नहीं, 2015 के वोटर नहीं, 2010 के वोटर नहीं, 2005 के वोटर नहीं। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि ये देश जो है वो बांग्लादेशी वोटरों से जो है बिहार का चुनाव होगा, देश का चुनाव होगा?
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
आरजेडी कांग्रेस को हुआ, इसके बाद भी आपको जो है एसआईआर खराब लग रहा है। एसआईआर क्यों ये विरोध कर रहे हैं सर? उसके पीछे का रीजन मैं आपको बता देता हूं। जो कल माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, ये किताब लेकर आया हूं सर, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस एंड द मुस्लिम्स। 1905 में 6 में जब मुस्लिम लीग बनी, 1905 में जब बिहार बंगाल का विभाजन हुआ और जब मुस्लिम लीग बनी सर, तो कांग्रेस ने समय समय पर वैसे सोनिया गांधी जी सारा चिट्ठी लेकर चली गई हैं सर।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Gentlemen, you're watching live and breaking at 5 p.m. with me, Tanisha Avasti. The Luthra brothers have already escaped to Phuket. Now, the agencies are fearing that after Phuket, they could now flee to Dubai because there is a Dubai connection that's come to the fore. We'll tell you what is it all about, but first, a quick check of the headlines. First image of fugitive Gaurav Luthra, the owner of the Birch Club, surfaces from Thailand. A blue corner notice has been issued against the both of them. Birch Brothers Dubai link surfaces. Sources say that the return just 4 days before Goa nightclub fire. Agencies now fear after Phuket, the fugitives might just flee to Dubai.
We are encouraging more new airlines to start and operate in India, ensuring fair access to airport capacity and eliminating any possibility of duopoly, controlling connectivity and pricing in our skies.
Republic coverage forces government to relook at monopoly and duopoly model. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu says that he will ensure duopolies don't decide. Republic report on duopoly and monopoly becomes the #1 headline as Aviation Minister too takes cognizance of it on the floor of the House. Nearly 500 Indigo flights cancelled today. Centre cuts airline routes of Indigo by 5%. Anil Ambani son Jay Anmol named in rupees 220 crore banking fraud case by the CBI. All right, shifting our focus to breaking news that's coming in, and this is in regard with the Ministry of Civil Aviation's meeting that was held earlier this afternoon. In the meeting today, it was said that the Ministry of Civil Aviation reviewed the meeting with the other airlines as well and their officials
who then emphasized the need for seamless communication between the junior and the senior staff, timely updated across social media and airline websites, and swift decisive action during the flight disruptions. Airlines were urged to keep ground staff proactive and highly visible, ensure fare cap rules are being strictly enforced and followed, with a dedicated monitoring team that has been put into place by several airlines. So that's the breaking news that we are getting in. The Ministry of Civil Aviation chairing a key meeting with all the airlines, starting from Air India to SpiceJet to even Akasa Air. All of these airline representatives were present in the meeting that was held by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, where the Ministry of Civil Aviation had briefed the other airlines on how they should be following the rules and regulations after Indigo has been in a massive aviation crisis. Chandrakala is joining us live for more details on that. Chandrakala, you've been tracking the meeting. What are the inside details that you're getting as far as the meeting is concerned? What was discussed in it?
Well, a very comprehensive review meeting has taken place in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, where the Secretary was present, of course. Along with that, the representatives of Indigo and other airlines, including Air India, were also being summoned, and a detailed review meeting took place, wherein we are learning that the aim of this meeting is to formulate a plan to avoid any operational meltdown caused by Indigo. So this meeting was basically a monthly review meeting, but of course, given the situation, it is very significant. And also what we are learning that there are a few key takeaways from this very emergency review meeting being called by Ministry of Civil Aviation, where all the where of course airlines, Indigo including Air India and SpiceJet were attending the meeting. Of course, they have ensured crystal clear internal communication between junior and senior airline staff. These are the few key takeaways that I'm sharing. Of course, share timely updates across all social media channels and the website. Act quickly and decisively whenever a flight is disrupted. Also very important is that the situation, this overall chaotic situation as far as cancellation of flights, Indigo flights are concerned, is expected to stabilize around 7 to 8 January. So this is one of the main key takeaways from this review meeting that took place here at Rajiv Gandhi Bhavan, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, wherein of course, the airlines, including Indigo, the representatives from Indigo, Air India and SpiceJet were present. Of course, apart from that, a very, very important, takeaway from this meeting is that to enforce fare cap rules, assign a small team to monitor and review, because we know that, of course, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has instructed all the airlines to as far as temporary capping of airfares are concerned. So, yes, this is a very important point. Apart from that, airlines and stakeholders should be fully prepared for the fog season, of course, with strong coordination. Another review meeting will be held very soon. So this is what you are learning, and it comes at a very, very important time, wherein we have seen that the Minister of Civil Aviation also, warning Indigo of strict action. And of course, we have seen the CEO of Indigo apologizing as far as this entire chaotic situation is concerned. As we know that more and more flights still remains cancelled today. Over to you.
All right, Chandrakal, thank you very much for getting us those details. Quickly moving across to some more breaking news that we're getting in. And this is about a debate that has now emerged over CJI's remark on Rohingyas. It was just last week when CJI had issued a very strong statement on illegal infiltrators, saying that nobody is going to roll out a red carpet for them. And now there is war within the judiciary over CJI's Rohingya remarks, where the activist lobby that has been led by Prashant Bhushan, ex-judges versus retired judges, who have been clashing over CJI Surya Khan's courtroom observations on Rohingyas. Now, CJI had asked on why a red carpet treatment should be given to the illegal Rohingyas. Now it is the retired judges who have come out, signed a letter backing the Chief Justice of India, calling the attacks a motivated campaign against the judiciary and against the Chief Justice of India. Now, this is an open letter that says that criticism distorts what the Chief Justice has actually said, and that CJI asked basic legal question and not prejudiced judges. Now, the bench has only sought to know who legally granted Rohingya refugee status. This after an open letter to the CGI by active lawyers, lobby slamming CGI Prashant Bhushan, AP Shah, K. Chandru had led a criticism. This is an open letter, ladies and gentlemen, that has been written by the retired judges supporting the Chief Justice of India on the Rohingyas observation. It was on the 2nd of December that the CGI had said that they cannot roll out a red carpet for people who cross the border unlawfully and then demand full rights and services. The CGI had also then asked the petitioners to show the Home Ministry order defining who qualifies as a refugee. All right, shifting our focus to other news breaks that we are getting. Today, earlier this morning, the first visuals of terror Dr. Adil had surfaced where the NIA team, along with the terror Dr. Adil and Jasir Wani, had taken him to the forest in Kashmir to get out info on what had actually happened and how the terror module works. Here's a report on what we saw.
The NIA has intensified its investigation into the Delhi Red Fort blast case. A fresh search operation was launched this morning in Anantnag's Mattan forest belt and neighbouring areas of Kazigund. 2 arrested suspects, Dr. Adil Radha and Jasir Bilal Wani, were brought to the forest to help pinpoint hideouts and potential bomb trial sites. Officials say this step is aimed at retrieving evidence and tracing logistics trails of the terror module.
We have seen a blast at near the Red Fort on 10th of November. In that blast, multiple people lost their lives.
Shifting our focus to breaking news that's coming in. This is from Vagator and Goa, where the bulldozer has arrived to break down the illegal construction, to break down the club known as the Romeo Lane. This was owned by the Birch brothers, the Luthra brothers, the owners of the Birch Club. The demolition of the club called Romeo Lane will now take place. This is the same club which has been owned by the Luthra brothers, Gaurav and Saurav Luthra. And these two were responsible for the fire that broke out in a club again owned by them. It was called the Birch Club by Romeo Lane in Goa. And this had led to the death of 25 people who died due to suffocation. Sorali is joining us live from where the demolition is going to take place in just some moments from now. Sorali, what's happening around you?
Yes, let me tell you the recent update. JCB is over here and let me show you the visuals from ground zero. JCB is present over here to demolish the entire structure. We can see JCB has just come down. The entire structure will be brought down. Romeo Lane, which is situated in the Romeo Lane nightclub, which is situated in the area on the seashore. And let me show you the action has started. Police officers are here and the demolition authorities are going to bring down this entire structure because this is the second property owned by Luthra brothers and several security lapses were seen. Now officials have also informed us. You can see on visuals the action has started. The demolition process, the property is being taken down. Luthra brothers are on free, but we can see the strict action taken by Goa government. The JCB doing its work. The property will be bulldozed, and you can see the wooden plank which is extended on the seashore. The encroached area will be bulldozed. Now, let me also inform you that in this specific nightclub, encroachment was a major issue because of why this bulldozer action is being taken. It will be taken down. So we can see over here how the action is being taken. Action is being taken and several other nightclubs areas will be under scrutiny, and such demolition can take place at several places in Goa, because we can see security lapses, may it be about the fire NOC, encroachment. We can see the action has started. As we all know that Luthra brothers are on flee. They have a home in Dubai. They have just flown to India 4 days before the incident took place. A tragic fire incident which took 25 lives. And within few hours, they took a flight to Phuket, Indigo flight number 6E1073. A major crackdown on the second property of Luthra brothers. Property Romeo Lane nightclub, which is present over here. We can see visuals from ground zero.
Right, Swarali, also take us to how much square kilometer of land is now being demolished, because we learned that this nightclub, the Romeo Lane, was earlier demolished. However, it was reconstructed by the authorities there.
Yes, that's true. When we tried to talk with the authorities over here in July, it was demolished for the first time, but it was reconstructed. Now this action is being taken for the second time, and if we can see the further plank which is present on the further border area. So there is this wall, stone wall, and the wooden structure which is extended from there is going to be pulled down, and we can see the live visuals of JCB taking the action, and it will be bulldozed because the encroachment was done on the seashore, and that's the reason why several nightclubs, several properties owned by Luthra brothers are under scrutiny. This is the first action taken by the Goa government in terms of bringing down the illegal properties, illegal businesses operating in the name of nightclubs, restaurants and bars. We are showing you, Republic TV is on ground zero, showing you the visuals, how the action is taken, a major crackdown.
Right, also Swarali, Romeo Land at Vagator, a beach shack has now been illegally constructed. We learned that it has been demolished by the authorities there. The major action was announced by the Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant. Are there many other clubs as well in the same area that could now also look forward to demolition, keeping in mind how lapses and laxities have already been established, number one at the Birch Club and then at Romeo Lane?
Yes, that's true. We have already seen we have already seen a fire tragedy that unfolded in one of the properties at Burj by Romeo Lane. And fire NOC was absent. Only one fire exit was there, and that's why 23 people succumbed to death. Now we can see around 198 square kilometer of area is to be razed. This is the first demolition was done in July, and now the second time this action is being taken because the audacity of the Luthra brothers. They had constructed back this entire wooden plank area, the shack area, which is encroachment on the seashore. 198 square kilometer of the land will be bulldozed. From this entire property, we can see the live visuals. They're showing you the visuals, bulldozer action being taken. And this crackdown comes in the aftermath of a deadly tragic fire incident that took place in North Goa in Burj by nightclub, which is owned by Luthra brothers, who are on flee. They are suspected to be in Phuket right now. They are taken a flight within few hours of this tragic incident, and now we can see a major action being taken, and the way the government is bringing this entire wooden property, and we can see even various security lapses were seen in this property, but majorly encroachment in 198 square kilometer of area. This is one such first action which is being taken. There's a possibility that various nightclubs, restaurants and bars across the North Goa can come under the scrutiny, and demolition might take place. As we already know that all the properties belonging to Romeo by Lane, which is owned by Luthra brothers, are already sealed in Goa. There are multiple properties in multiple locations throughout India in 22 states and 4 more countries. It is, as per the information we are getting in, they had flown flown to India just 4 days before the incident, tragic incident which caused 25 lives. They've flown from Dubai to India, and then immediately within hours they had taken a flight to Phuket. And this is a result of audacity and the kind of lapses there were seen in the system. And now the bulldozer taking its course of action, illegal construction is brought down.
Right. Also, Surali, talking about the Dubai angle that you were talking about right now, talk to us while showing the visuals on the screen on our cameras. Talk to our viewers about when exactly was the time when the Luthra brothers had booked their ticket to Thailand, and how is it that number one, they escaped the eyes of the Goa police, and number second, they escaped the authorities who were present at the airport. Why is it that soon after the fire broke out, why was a lookout circular, a lookout notice not issued against the club owners, and that should have been the first thing that should have done by the Goa police?
Yes, those are the questions for which we are seeking answers, because in a few hours of this tragic incident unfolding, at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, they had immediately flown out of the country. They had fled the country to Phuket in Thailand in Indigo flight number 6E1073. Now let me take you to the sequential events of happening. After they flew out, after they had flown out of the country, after that the FIR has been registered, and in the evening, after several hours, they had fled India. Lookout notice was being given out, and even after that, a blue corner notice was issued by Interpol to know about the whereabouts. But the question is still on Goa police and the administration of state of Goa, that how come they could flee the scrutiny of Goa police exactly in few hours of this deadly tragic incident? They take a flight and flee out of the country. How could they not come under the scrutiny of maybe the police department, or the government administration?
Right. Also, Swarali, talk to us about now, since the bulldozer action is underway in Vagator in Goa, and the Romeo Lane, this is the same club that has been, that was built and owned by the Luthra brothers. It has now headed for a demolition. Swarali, talk to us about what exactly have the reason that have been stated by the officials on why this club that has been owned by the fugitive brothers is being demolished.
Yes, so the exact reason for the demolition, what we are catching from on ground, is that this is the encroached land. If we can see in the visuals, there's a stone wall. If I can ask my video journalist to zoom in to the visuals, there's a stone wall. That's the limit for the shack to be built by Romeo Lane, owned by Luthra brothers, but that was not abided. At multiple levels, laws and norms were not followed. Time that this property is being brought down. This is the second time the bulldozer is being used. The audacity of these owners, on one hand, wherein the fire security norms were not followed. On the other hand, encroachment was also seen in their property. This is the second property owned by Romeo Lane, that is Luthra brothers, and this is the second time the crackdown, the bulldozer action is being taken, because we can clearly see through our visual that this is an encroached land. Even after once taking down the entire property, the encroached land, this was for the second time that this was built. The area of 198 square kilometers is being raised in front. We can see the visuals live. We are showing you visuals from ground zero, and we already know that 4 arrests have been made in the case. The 5th one is Bharat Kohli. Is being brought down to Goa for investigating the connection with the Luthra brothers, and the third partner, Ajay Gupta, is also being on the fray and is on the radar of Goa police. So this is the kind of action being taken by the Goa police. And let me tell you, this is the first action after the major fire incident that took place, but several nightclubs, restaurants or bars can come under the scrutiny, and such major breakthrough crackdown action can be taken.
Right. Right. So Rali also talking about the connection of the Luthra brothers, that they had fled to Phuket. Now the Interpol and the other agencies are also fearing that they could likely fly to Dubai. And amidst all of this, a crackdown on their club back here in Goa is happening, where this is a club called Romeo Lane, which is being demolished. It has been owned by the Luthra brothers. Swarali, we learned that there are some family members of the Luthra brothers who are in Dubai, and that is why the Interpol is fearing somewhere or the other that after Phuket, the next hideout of these Luthra brothers might be Dubai.
Yes, that's the kind of information we are following in from ground zero. Let me tell you that they own a house in Dubai and their family members are supposed to be in Dubai. It is being said by, and agencies are also suspecting and investigating on this angle. After Phuket, their hideout area, their hideout area may be in Dubai. That's the kind of angle which is being investigated right now. On one hand, wherein the major bulldozer action is being done, a major crackdown in the state of Goa, wherein 25 people, innocent people, have lost their life to a major fire tragedy. The major crackdown action is following the mishap that has happened. On our TV screens, Republic TV is showing you the major action. The wooden plank which is on the encroachment area, 198 square kilometers of area, is being raised down. As you all know, there was a total pressure from opposition, from people of Goa. Answers were expected from government. Strong action, strict action was expected. The question still arises that why was action not taken before the incident took place? But the kind of action and justice was requested and expected. One part of it we can see in our visuals.
All right, yes. So Rali, also just to give our viewers, stay with me, I'll just give our viewers a background of what's actually happening on the screen right now. On screen, viewers, is the demolition of a club called Romeo Lane in Vagator in Goa that is being demolished by the authorities. This after the Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant had given a demolition order. Now, why is this club important? Is because this club has been owned by the fugitive brothers, Gaurav Luthra and Saurav Luthra, the same Luthra brothers who were responsible for the death of the 25 people in another club that they own, which is known as the Birch, that is also in Goa. Now, why they are responsible is because soon after fire broke out in a club in Goa, the Birch Club, the owners, the Luthra brothers, had then fled the country. They had escaped to Phuket, after which a lookout circular was issued against them, and later on we learned that today a blue cordon notice has been issued against him. The CBI has got in touch with the Interpol, but all of this happened after the duo, after the fugitive brothers had already fled to Phuket. Now what is happening is, back here in India, the authorities have tightened the noose against the fugitives. Their clubs that are being that were built illegally, that were built on a land that permission was not taken on, that was encroached, is now being demolished by the authorities. The question really is, will they be able to get hold of the Luthra brothers, and if yes, then when? Because nearly 3 days, 36 hours have already passed. Sunday is when the incident had happened of the fire tragedy, which had killed 25 people, had injured others as well. And now is when the action is being taken. Why this club is also important? Because this is the same club that had been demolished by the authorities of Goa earlier. However, it was reconstructed by the club management, by the Luthra brothers, and yet no action was taken then. And Swarali, that brings me to my another question to you. Why is it that after the reconstruction, when the reconstruction of the club was done, why was this demolition not taken place then? And why is it that the demolition is taking place now when the fire has already broken out, 25 people have already been killed?
Yes, that's true. When we try to question authorities in such a line of investigation, they've informed us that this is a totally different case. That's what the authorities from Government of Tourism are telling us, that this was brought down in July. And when we try to ask that why is this second action being taken after the 25 lives were lost, at that time they had said that it was not related to the fire NOC. This specific property, Romeo land, which is situated in Wagator, the demolition of this property is not related to the absence of fire NOC but encroachment of land. Now we can see that several level of fractures in the system and the kind of approval or permissions being given are coming out after the fire NOC being not in place and 25 people losing their lives. Second property of owned by Luthra brothers who are not currently in India, they have fled the scene, is coming out, and due to the encroachment of 198 square kilometer of land, the entire wooden plank property structure is being brought down, which is normally called a shack, which is present on the seashore. And we are currently present in the Wagator area, and these are the live visuals. Republic TV is showing you the kind of action that is being taken, a major crackdown after a major fire tragedy unfolded in Goa, due to which 25 people had to lose their lives.
You had earlier spoken with the BJP member of parliament from Goa there. What did he have to say while you spoke to him regarding his own government, who is today under the question, under scrutiny for letting go of the Luthra brothers who were responsible for the death of nearly 25 people?
Right, a quick correction before I start to answer this question. I tried and talked with BJP MLA, member of Legislative Assembly, Michael Lobo, who is MLA of Kalangut region, where the tragic fire incident had taken place. At that time, he had informed us that why in first place trade license was issued by Sarpanch Roshan Redkar. First, when Republic tried to talk and interact with Roshan Redkar, he had informed us that he had put out a demolition notice, and we have accessed all the documents made with a trade license or demolition notice. But to answer this question, there's an allegation from BJP MLA Michael Lobo. He say, according to his allegations, the trade license was issued before even having excise permission or pollution control board fire NOC in place. These permissions were lacking. First, the trade license was made, and then all these permissions were sought. There was no official from all these departments on site to check whether all the measures are taken or not. That's the kind of allegation which is being put by BJP MLA Michael Lobo himself, and he has said that I am trying to put pressure on government because the tragic incident has unfolded in my constituency and I'm accountable to people of Goa and India. That's what he has told us.
Right, so then can we say, Swarali, that there is an infighting within the BJP only that's broken out over and a blame game then has erupted over what happened in Goa?
I don't know whether we can call it a blame game or not, but definitely a leader from within the ruling party itself is saying that I cannot come on camera and say that the government is not wrong at any level. There has been fallacies on the government side because 3 officers are already suspended. That's what Michael Lobo had told us, that former Secretary of Pollution Control Board, on the other hand, former Secretary and Director of Panchayat were also suspended, and there's more crackdown happening on the government officers. So he very well said to us that definitely there were some fallacies in the system of the government, but he is demanding strong action. He has also said that if the strong action is not taken, a course of action is not done right, he'll go to North SP's office and he'll protest for the people. 25 innocent lives that has been lost, but definitely he was trying to show the measures and the lapses in the system taken by the various departments, maybe the excise department. Trade license was approved, and he was saying the Sarpanch Roshan Redkar had an authority to cancel the trade license. Instead of doing that, he just put out a demolition notice. He was trying to question that whether was it a chance given to Luthra brothers to appear in front of Directorate of Panchayat and bring a stay order, because we know that in court several dates are given and the next hearing was to be supposed to be held on 17 December. So he was saying that the case was under trial for last 2 years. Was that an effort to give them a chance to go to Panchayat Directorate and bring a stay order? In spite of that, he could have directly cancelled the trade license. By the BJP MLA Michael Lobo. On the other hand, if we talk about the investigation that is going on, let me tell you, Interpol has put out a blue corner notice, which means now the forces across the countries related to Interpol will seek about the whereabouts of the Luthra brothers. And when we are talking about the investigation angle which is being investigated right now, they have Luthra brothers who are perpetrators, alleged perpetrators, have a home in Dubai. They had just flown to India 4 days before the tragic incident happened on the midnight of 6th December. And within few hours, at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, with the Indigo flight 6C1073, that fled the scene, and they had the audacity to put out a message. We have access. The message put out by Saurav Luthra, one of the owners, one of the brothers, on Instagram, saying that they apologized and they stand with the families in such serious situation. But what was expected by the family, deceased families and those who were injured, that he should come in front and should not fled the investigation, but should have confronted and accepted the allegations put out on him. And we also know that they have properties across Goa and in 22 states of India. Apart from that, they also have properties in such businesses, maybe nightclubs, restaurants or bars. They have it in 4 more countries in India. They have been awarded with prestigious awards. But the kind of security lapses seen in the North Goa Zarpora village, where 25 people had to lose their lives, and that's the reason why such major crackdown is seen, such major action is being taken on the second property of Luthra brothers, that is Romeo Lane shack, which is situated in this area. That's the update we are getting in. We are showing you continuously. And showing the visuals, major crackdown done by.
All right, yes. So, Rali, I request you to stay with me because we're getting in one more set of breaking news that's coming in. Again, this is in regard with the same story. We learned that there is a 5th arrest in the case that has taken place, and this accused has now been brought to the Anjuna police station in Goa. Visuals of the same are on your screen. Swarali is continuing to stay live with me on the broadcast. Swarali, from where you are right now, okay, these are the visuals of another accused who was arrested in the tragedy case. He is said to be an accomplice of the Luthra brothers. Luthra brothers have already fled. However, his accomplice has been arrested, traced and now put behind bars, and he could be the key to give out the details on where the Luthra brothers actually are right now. Swarali, coming back to you on that. Now, officials, where you are right now, there is a demolition that's taking place. Officials have said that the shack known as Romeo Lane was illegally built on a government land, and that machinery and staff have already been prepared for the operation. And now, since the demolition is already started, my question to you then is, Swarali, since you have been on the ground, why is it that when it had come to the notice of the authorities that this club has been illegally built on a government land, why was action not taken place then? And why is it that government's action has come too little too late, after, especially after the tragedy has taken place and it has come under the light of the public view?
Yes, that's definitely true, because when the entire incident of the major fire tragedy that happened in North Goa's Zarpora area, one of the nightclubs owned by Romeo Lane, that is Birch nightclub, when 25 people had to lose their lives. After that, the government woke up to whatever illegal construction or businesses in the sea were operational in across the state, and after the incident took place, 25 people had to lose their lives. After that, an serious audit, ministerial probe was ordered, and it was also said that across Goa, crackdown will be conducted, but that happened.
All right, we seem to have lost that line with Swarali, but on your screen, viewers, are the visual of the fifth accused that has now been arrested in regard with the Goa fire tragedy. And we'll show you what's also happening in Vagator in Goa, where a demolition is taking place in a club called the Romeo Lane that has been owned by the Birch brothers. Why this is being demolished is because this was built and illegally built on a government land, soon after which the government has said that a demolition will be carried on an encroached property. The shack is the third property that has been owned by the brothers Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, both of them now fugitives who fled to Thailand hours after the blaze at their Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Arpora, which occurred on the midnight of Saturday. And moving on in the broadcast to some other stories that we're tracking today, in a very important development in the Delhi blast case, the terror doctor, the terrorist Adil Ahmed, was brought by the NIA teams to Kashmir to interrogate him. Along with him, who was present was Jasir Wani, another terrorist who was involved in the Delhi blast case. What was happening in Kashmir with the NIA team and the terror doctor, both of them being in Kashmir? Take a look at this report.
The NIA has intensified its investigation into the Delhi Red Fort blast case. A fresh search operation was launched this morning in Anantnag's Mattan forest belt and neighbouring areas of Kazigund. Two arrested suspects, Dr. Adil Radha and Jasir Bilal Wani, were brought to the forest to help pinpoint hideouts and potential bomb trial sites. Officials say this step is aimed at retrieving evidence and tracing logistics trails of the terror module.
We have seen a blast at near the Red Fort on 10th of November. In that blast, multiple people lost their lives and many of them got injured, and NIA had taken over the case, and since then multiple raids were conducted. But to today's raids, we have seen the presence of Dr. Adil, who's actually from Kulgam, and meanwhile also Jasir Bilal Wani. As I said, the Jasir's place was raided also by the NIA yesterday late evening, and also the adjoining areas of his residence were also searched late evening yesterday. And today the NIA slot reached here with the two main accused, because the court has already extended their remand, and right now the searches were carried in these woods. These are the dense woods of Anantnag.
This dramatic shift to Anantnag comes after investigators discovered that the main accused in the Red Fort blast, terror doctor Umar Nabi, may have tested explosives in the forests of Jammu and Kashmir before executing the car bombing in Delhi, raising the prospect of a preliminary trial run ahead of the attack. The probe has so far exposed a cross-state, white-collar terror network involving medical professionals and other associates allegedly linked to the banned terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed. Arrests in Delhi, NCR, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir are part of a larger effort to dismantle this covert support chain. The probe escalated after NIA recovered nearly 2,900 kilos of ammonium nitrate detonators, metal fragments and other bomb-making material from two rented flats in Faridabad. The stockpile indicated planning for a major strike across India, triggering a nationwide shakedown of potential sleeper cells. Since then, several Kashmiri origin doctors working in UP and NCR, as well as other suspects, have been detained, questioned or remanded with the case, casting light on what investigators say is a previously underestimated white-collar terror ecosystem. The ongoing forest operation in Anantnag is now viewed as a critical, perhaps missing link. Recoveries here could help reconstruct the last leg of the white terror conspiracy.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's also have a quick check of all the other stories that are making headlines. This is Bharat in 5 minutes. BJP MLAs staged a protest at the Survana Sauda in Belagavi, accusing the Karnataka state government of failing to address farmers' concerns. Highlighting key issues, BJP leaders said that While the government announced MSP for sugarcane and maize, it did not open procurement markets, leaving farmers without support. At the NDA parliamentary meeting in the National Capital, Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Kiran Rijiju said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Reform Express is the central agenda of his historic third term. He explained how the Prime Minister wanted every new policy or law to avoid adding any burden on citizens, with both the centre and the state governments working forward towards this goal.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो थर्ड टर्म ऐतिहासिक सरकार बनी है, उसका सबसे बड़ा एजेंडा है रिफॉर्म एक्सप्रेस। अब ये रिफॉर्म जो है हर एक नागरिक का जिंदगी को बदलने का रिफॉर्म है।
A large crowd gathered in Puducherry as TVK chief and actor Vijay addressed his first public rally since the tragic Karur stampede that claimed 41 lives, with heightened security measures in place. Police capped attendance at 5,000 and mandated QR code entry passes to ensure controlled access. In Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian Army's Romeo Force has launched a major territorial army recruitment drive in Sukarnkot town of Poonch district following Operation Sindoor, drawing participation from over 30,000 youth across the Union Territory. The large-scale recruitment effort aimed at expanding local involvement in security and development roles will continue until December 15th.
सर, हम रोमियो फोर्स जो हमारी इंडियन आर्मी की है उसका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं कि जैसे कि आजकल जो बेरोज़गारी बढ़ रही है उसे टैकल करने के लिए इन्होंने भर्ती करवाई है और इसमें काफ़ी सारा यूथ ने हिस्सा लिया है। आज करीबन 1500 से 2000 तक लड़कों ने हिस्सा लिया है और करीबन 30,000 तक यहाँ पे पूरी लड़के आएंगे जब पूरी भर्ती में। सर बिल्कुल ये फ्री है, भर्ती बिल्कुल फेयर है, इसमें कोई वो नहीं है, जिसमें दम होगा वही भर्ती करेगा। इसमें 5 मिनट पूरा जोर लगाना पूरी ज़िंदगी बन जाएगी आदमी की।
In Chhattisgarh, Sukma district, once a Maoist stronghold in the Puravati region, is witnessing rapid improvement in connectivity as government agencies and security forces expand civic action program. As part of the initiative, bicycles are being distributed to villages, helping residents who were long isolated with forested areas to access nearby towns and urban facilities more easily. CCTV footage captured a dramatic accident on the Samriddhi Expressway in Maharashtra on Monday afternoon when an SUV lost control, skidded off the course and burst into flames. Within seconds, fortunately, the vehicle's doors were not locked, allowing all 5 occupants to escape just in time before the